Boom! Welcome to our Podium Sports. So at the time of this recording, we got breaking news.
Mm.
The Dallas Cowboys have hired Brian Schottenheimer.
You're lying. You're lying. Josh, you're lying. Don't lie to me today. Please.
The Dallas Cowboys have hired Brian Schottenheimer to be their new head coach. Just broke news today, just now, 8:55. Go and check your phone.
Are you serious or?
Check your phone, check Instagram, check Twitter if you don't believe me. They just broke news 2-3 minutes ago. Brian Schottenheimer, new head coach. I thought it would be Kellen Moore, but Brian Schottenheimer, they stay in house, and he's the new guy.
You see, I'm almost brought. I'm almost brought to tears.
Whoa! I mean, we said it though. I didn't know. I don't even.
This is as worse as it can get. You can't get any worse. Dude, this is Mike McCarthy's lackey. This guy wasn't even calling plays last year.
Okay, so exactly. So Mike McCarthy didn't even think he was good enough to call plays, but he can now. He can run a whole team. and my thing is, so I don't like. I mean, we said it though. We said that Jerry Jones is going to hire somebody that he knew, and he did that. I'm shocked it wasn't Kellen Moore. I'd rather have Kellen Moore. At least I could have some confidence in Kellen Moore. But Schottenheimer, that was as bad as it could get.
Dude, you can't get any worse. You literally cannot get any. I would honestly, if I really think about it, I would probably pick any other candidate except the Schottenheimer guy. Now, if you really, really think about it, Dion, Kellen, the Jets old Salah,
Rob Saleh,
Saleh,
yeah.
All those guys. Hell, I'll even take Pete Carroll, right now.
No, we're gonna talk about that, but I'm just like, wow. Now the big question is gonna be like I always say this. But who is going to be his G coordinator is the next big question.
Yep.
Because the most important hire when you hire is the guy opposite of him, because that's not his expertise. And we know how bad the defense has been. Like I said, I'm just shocked that this actually is official now. I don't even really have words, but
I can't believe it. I thought you were lying.
No, broke news just now. Schottenheimer going to Dallas. He's already in Dallas. Boom. And technically, wasn't he fired? Technically,
Dude, we just hired. I mean, that's what really. That's what. I mean, that just spells Jones family all over. We just hired Mike McCarthy's lackey. It can't get any worse.
Yeah, look at that. Adam Schefter. Here, I'll share my screen. My screen, and I'll show you right here. Adam Schefter just broke it. It's official.
I'm about to check it as well.
Cowboys are hiring offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer as a new head coach. Jerry Jones himself tells ESPN Brian Schottenheimer is known as a career assistant. Jones said he ain't Brian no more. He is known as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, he ain't Brian no more. He's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Wow. From Jerry Jones, that's from his own mouth.
Yeah, she can't get any worse.
So I said Jerry Jones is a terrorist. That tells. That's it right there. That's it.
Josh, I'm about to die. I'm not even lying.
That's what it is right now. That's what it is. So tell me how you feel with the hire. Are you impressed? Disappointed?
F. I'm giving this hire an F. I thought it was a joke at first. I was like, man, this might be one of those interviews where it's like, this guy, he's been a long time assistant. You just want to interview him, give him a shot. But, in reality, he ain't got much of a shot. You're probably just saying that for public sake. I was not expecting him to go through and actually become the head coach. I would have preferred Al Harris if you were going to hire like an assistant coach. Al Harris is a great defensive backs coach. I'm not saying he can be a head coach, but I prefer him over this guy.
No, exactly. No,
billion times more.
No, exactly. What about y'all's old D line coach, who is the defensive coordinator in Seattle?
Exactly.
Right. And look, and he's a defensive line wizard. Right? So, like you said, there was a lot of assistants out there, and Micah Parsons, guess what? Loves that guy. He loved that D line coach. So I thought, like you said, there's a lot of better guys they could have hired. This is probably the worst hire they could have made. I would rather they wouldn't hire somebody off the street. or Chad be like, and what I heard too was, don't be surprised if Jason Witten is on staff here next couple of days if they break news.
They hired the wrong guy, dude. Dion. If you had hired Dion, I would have been okay with it.
No, exactly. But here's the thing. So what it seems like is this: they're gonna hire Jason Witten, and then when it goes back with Schottenheimer, Jason Witten's gonna be a which again, he only coaches high school.
This is what's wrong with the Jerry. He thinks Jason Witten can go from a high school level coaching and jump to the head coach. Josh, imagine you're the Lakers, right, president, and you just go up to your local LA high school, and you're just gonna pick a random LA high school coach, say, hey, why don't you become the head coach of the Lakers? Imagine that step.
Exactly. Come on, it doesn't make no sense. It don't make. Like I said, Jason. What they should have done is let Jason tell him, look, Jason, we want to give you the job. Go to college, prove yourself, and then let's bring you in. This whole because that's what the rumor was, that whoever was hired, if it was, at least when it became between, I heard that for Kellen Moore. I'm assuming it was the same thing for Schottenheimer. It was one of those two guys that Witten was going to come in some capacity and kind of help him out or whatever. Because Jerry Jones loves Jason Witten. He wasn't joking about that. He actually loves the guy. Like I said, I already see this going. It's going to be Jason Witten about the next. Well, we'll see. They kept McCarthy for 4 or 5 years, so I can't even say the next 2 or 3 years. We'll see how long it takes, but it's going to be Witten in after Schottenheimer, which is going to be another bad hire. It's probably not going to work out. You're just not, like you say, this is the best of the best coaches in the world. You got to have some kind of, it takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. So we'll see what happens. And I want to, like I said, I think D coordinator is what I'm looking at. I want to see that. And then we'll see who they draft. Schottenheimer, to me, again, and I'll let you talk about this, but just another guy Jerry Jones can boss around, because he knows he didn't deserve this job, and he wouldn't get it anywhere else. So he knows whatever Jerry Jones says, he's gonna do. Whoever they want to draft, Schottenheimer is gonna have to deal with it. It's as simple as that. And I really want to hear what Mike has to say about it. It's about. Give me your overall thoughts on this kind of hire, that kind of stuff, in the future of Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, that just screams Jerry. I mean, he basically hired himself as a head coach. You got to realize this guy's fired Mike McCarthy to only hire his lackey, and Mike McCarthy was a lackey to Jerry. So this guy must be he's an even bigger lackey to Jerry now. Yeah. So Jerry, I mean, the meme of Jerry hired himself as a head coach. I mean, that's basically come true. That's all I see. Yeah. When I see Brian Schottenheimer. Keep in mind, dude, the first time I heard his name was about 2 days ago. I didn't even know this dude existed. Much less for him to become the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. This is another one of Jerry's lackeys. Don't get that mistaken. I'm not very confident. Like I said, I heard of this dude 2 days ago. I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know what he can possibly even do. So there's not much for me to be really excited about, other than I have no idea what he's done. I still don't know what he do.
As a Seattle fan, I can speak on him because he was calling plays in Seattle a couple of years ago with Russ and that kind of stuff. And his offense was pretty good, but I think they said the rumor was Russ, him and Russ kind of because teams started playing too high, right? Because Metcalf was there, Lockett, and then we got some other guys, and then we were just beating people over the top. So people started playing too high safeties, kind of say, okay, Seattle, we're gonna make you dink and dunk. And him and Russ kind of came to a head, but how they wanted to attack a too high safety look and kind of dink and dunk down the field. And so the offense kind of ended up flaming out at the end, and he got fired from Seattle. Like I said, you take that how you want to, but I mean, that's the best thing I can say about him is his offense was hot for about 11, 12 weeks of the season, and then it kind of just flamed out. So I said, it wouldn't shock me if y'all if y'all have a top 5 offense in the regular season or something, and as the end of the season goes on, people kind of figure out just do this versus him, and then kind of just shut it down. It honestly wouldn't shock me if y'all come out hot and then kind of as the years go on, offense starts to flame out a little bit. Kind of like how it was with McCarthy. Like for a couple of years, y'all was hot, and then every time I got to the playoffs, it kind of just flamed out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same thing. So like I said, we'll see. Now he also had Russell in his prime. So you remember that too? That was prime when I was back when Russell Wilson was getting up. I remember when he was up for MVP considerations. Like he was doing that kind of crap. He was looked at as one of the best players in the league. Dak Prescott not in his prime is a big downgrade from that too. So,
Yep.
and I tell you this, they have CeeDee Lamb, but they don't have a duo that Seattle had when they don't have the duo because he had Lockett and Metcalf, and right now Dallas doesn't have that either. So you got to remember that too. So if they kind of want to replicate that, probably gonna need another guy if they want to replicate what he kind of says he had in Seattle for a short time. But yeah, you said it's a horrible hire. I think it's the worst one he could have made. And honestly, you said
man, it's a disgusting, it's revolting, it's insulting.
No.
There's not much else to say. Like I said, it's hard to be a Dallas fan. I don't see much excitement at all. I mean, who are you gonna hire? We're gonna see who he hires as a defensive coordinator. I'm not very happy.
But here's the thing: Jerry Jones is gonna be the one really making that hire. Like
Exactly. I was just about to say, man, it ain't even gonna be Brian. I guarantee it.
Wait, Sammy, you didn't hear the quote. His name ain't Brian no more. It's head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Bro, Jerry Jones is a terrorist. He's destroying one of the biggest brands in America. He's bringing it to the ground. Oh man, I should be back now.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, no, I was gone for a while there. My Wi-Fi, man.
No, I was saying was, all this kind of shows me is, and the vibe I'm getting is, all I'm gonna say is like the rest of the moves made up from here on out. Like it always been is gonna be Jerry. And I don't see any. Yeah, everybody's posting about it now. Yeah, I don't see anything good coming out of this. Oh, what I was gonna say was, I'll say this: if I'm the Cowboys fan, because at this point I think y'all have one of the worst coaches in the league, and usually I'm just being honest, we're to be honest, and usually that leads to one of the worst coaches in the league, plus one of the worst rosters in the league. Usually that leads to contending for the number one overall pick. So if I'm Dallas, honestly, not to be rude, I'm going to start watching more college football and figure out about DJ Lagway, Dylan Raiola, Arch Manning, Lenore. I'm going to start looking into these guys because that's going to be the guy you want. You want to have to. The only thing you can hope for with Schottenheimer is y'all maybe next year y'all have a bad year, and we'll see who's up for next year draft. But now next year maybe this year and then next year you'll have a couple of bad years. If y'all can snatch one of those Raiolas or those Lagways or those Arch Mannings and hope that, just like what Dan Quinn and the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, hope that a quarterback can overcome the lack of the roster talent and coaching. Because if you have a good enough quarterback, they can do that for you. And so hope that's the biggest hope if I'm a Dallas fan, honestly, is hope that maybe we suck maybe these next 2 years and we snag one of these stud quarterbacks and we do like the Commanders and come up out of nowhere, or like the Texans come out of nowhere and kind of overcome our sucky coaching and our lack of roster talent. Honestly, the biggest bet I could honestly say for Cowboys fans. I'll just be honest, because it's not, especially I just with Dak and shot, like everything's just bad. It just gets worse and worse. I mean, I don't understand. It's like they just continue to go backwards. So
They do.
I think Jerry Jones is in for reality check because guess what? This ain't gonna bring fans to the stands. I'll tell you right now, this is not a hire that's gonna bring people to want to come to the games. So these next couple of years, when his wallet starts getting affected, that's why I want to see what he's gonna do. And yeah, so I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Unless you got anything else to say about it.
No, I mean it's just an F hire. I mean it's just disgusting, like you said. I just it's gonna be a rough couple of years as well. I'm assuming here.
I got you. Okay, let's talk about the national championship game. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Me and Sammy's worst nightmare. Ohio State.
Yeah.
Man, Ohio State is national champions. I don't even want to say it, and I hope it's the last time I ever say it. But we're not talking so much about the game, but I don't want to come on here and just let's start with the good. I would say this is the one year that having Will Howard was good enough for them to win the championship because any other year they wouldn't have gotten away with it. But the quarterback this is one of the worst quarterback years in a long time. Probably since that Kenny Pickett class. Well, not in the class for sure, but like when it comes to top teams, nobody had a quarterback of the top teams. So this is the year they could have got away with having a Will Howard or somebody of that caliber. So I'll give them credit. They stole a national championship. Ryan Day got over the big game. I still don't think he's a big game coach though, and here's why. Because I don't see him lasting anymore. I just think this is the one year he get away with it because his roster was so good. And there was no other elite quarterbacks that can kind of like, there was no elite quarterbacks left. So just, having Will Howard and having the amount of time they did was able to, they were able to get by with it. I still don't trust him in big games because I think this is the only night he's ever going to win. And you call me crazy, say what you want. I think he's going to get fired from Ohio State because here's the reality of the situation. I give y'all credit, but here's the reality. Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, y'all losing about 10. How many dudes is Ohio State losing off their defense? A bunch.
Yep.
And they're gonna have a bunch of dudes who ain't that level of players because they just don't have the talent. People assume that Ohio State, same thing with Bama. Back I think when Texas played them, when Quinn Ewers, the game he got hurt, I remember all week I told others that Bama's not what they used to be. They don't have the talent they used to be. I know they're really good and they come off all these wins. And I think that was Bryce's that was his first year starting or second year or something like that. But they were fresh off that 2020 year. It was only not too long ago. We got all these dudes. We still got top talent. Same thing with Ohio State. They still got Caleb Brown. They still got leftovers. I'm like, man, this roster's not as complete as it used to be. This ain't the same altitudes as we used to seeing. I think the same thing for Ohio State, man. I think next year is going to look like a totally different team, and I mean that in a bad way. I think they're really not going to be impressive, man. I saw Jeremiah Smith, Connell Tate, Caleb Downs, a couple other dudes I'm forgetting. Cody Simon, if he's still there. I don't think they're going to be all that impressive. I think Ryan is going to get fired. I think I'll make the prediction now. I think they're going to get blown out by Texas week 1 by Arch Manning and Star. I think Texas is going to blow them out, man. I always say if we didn't beat them with Quinn, but if that was Ohio State's best team that they've had, like that was the best team that Ohio State's had since he's been there and all that. Well, not the best team, but you get what I'm saying. Like that was the best team they've had to win a national championship, the best chance they had. Yeah. And that was what Sark's. I mean, that's not going to be when Sark's career is all said and done. That will be one of his worst teams. we're just going to be honest. That's going to be one of Sark's worst teams. That's supposed to be one of Ryan Day's best teams, and it took all the way to the fourth quarter, like 2 minutes left for them to run away with it. Good luck is all I'm going to say. I think it's going to be a blowout in Austin. And I think we're going to be doing a repeat. I think it's going to be a repeat of this season, except I don't think, even if they make the playoffs, which I don't think they will, I think they're going to lose at least 3 games, if not more. Even if they make the playoffs, they're not going to go make a run because I'm going to be honest with you right now. The Julian Sand kid is not it. He's not it. He's not the quarterback everybody thinks he is. And the St. Clair kid is a true freshman. I remember I told Sammy this before. It's so impossible to ever rely on a true freshman to win you games at this level of college football and at Ohio State. It's impossible. You cannot, like week 1 versus Texas, you can't throw Tavian St. Clair in the game because he's gonna get crushed, right? Yeah, so and then guess what? When y'all go play Michigan in Ann Arbor, you can't throw Tavian St. Clair in that game because good luck. You think Michigan? Like, come on, you can't throw him in a Michigan game with everything on the line. You can't do it. He's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be ready. Now, if he is ready, he's generational. I just say right now, if anybody is a true freshman quarterback goes into a season and ends up starting and actually being productive and playing good, they're a special player. But Trevor Lawrence is one of them. Like it's very few though. Very few guys go in true freshmen fresh out of high school and become good players or elite quarterbacks. It doesn't usually work out. So I think Ohio's going to have a bad season next year. I think we'll be doing the same thing on Ryan Day. I don't think he's all that good of a coach. And if he was smart, he'd go move on somewhere. He'd go move on to the NFL and try to get a coaching job. He'd be an offensive coordinator or some kind of, assistant job. But I'm being honest, because it's not going to last at Ohio State, man. They just don't have the roster they used to have. And congrats him for winning it this year because it was all or nothing this year for them. But I just think in the long run, he's going to end up getting fired. Let me hear your thoughts, though.
No, I gotta agree with you. This was probably the one year that quarterbacks were just atrocious, and they were able to take advantage and win the chip. It was a nightmare, but I'm glad
Yeah,
we got the season over with.
yeah,
But yeah, as far as Ryan Day goes, um, I gotta agree with you on him. I really don't think that he's that competent in big games. Like I said, they were just able with the roster they have, $20 million, spent more than everyone this year. Um, Now, granted, teams are going to be, from
yeah,
now on, how we know Ohio State is doing that. It's not going to fly anymore.
yeah.
But this was, like I said, the 1 year, and they just ended up taking advantage of that. So, you know what, Ohio State, is good for y'all, but enjoy it while y'all can, because I don't see this happening um, much in the future. I mean, if ever, if I had it my way. But
Oh wow.
yeah, I don't see it happening much. I'll be honest.
No,
They're losing a lot of talent, like you said. So
exactly. And here's the next thing too. If Jeremiah Smith, because I don't know if you heard, but Connor Tate had rumors that he was going to enter the portal and that kind of stuff. If he's smart, he would.
he would.
Because here's the thing: at the end of the day, Ohio State doesn't have a quarterback. And I don't care how good Jeremiah Smith is. And by the way, the same by the way, that Texas team is the only team that shut down the Ohio State offense. That's what I'm trying to tell people. We're the only defense that shuts y'all down for 4 quarters
Yeah.
with all that talent y'all had, and all that talent's going to be gone next year. So what you think we're going to do to y'all next year?
Yeah.
Without Judkins, without Henderson, without Will Howard, without Emeka Egbuka, without all these guys, without without Donovan Jackson, without all those dudes, which I think it's going to be. It reminds me a lot of the Michigan game because
Mm.
ironically, same thing happened there. National championships, but then they're coming off that, and everybody. Some people didn't know because they think they know, but they don't. But it was pretty obvious they weren't going to be the same team that they were the year before. I just feel the same thing to me. It's going to look like Texas is going to go in there. It's going to be number 1 versus number 2. Not really the number 2 team in the country. It's going to be a big win, but at the end of the season, we're going to say, yeah, that Ohio State team wasn't number 2, and it wasn't that good of a win because they weren't that good of a team. They weren't all that. They weren't number 2 team in the country. It wasn't like the way they're going to hype it up before the season is not going to hit the same after the season's over. Because they'll look back and say, yeah, that team just wasn't that good. They weren't what we thought they were. They might not even be a top 25 team. Honest, you know what I'm saying. So it's just what it is. I'm just being honest. Like that saying kid isn't good. And I'm just not a fan of him. And they're just losing a lot, man. I think it's gonna be a big blowout by Sark and them. I think only thing it does is help Arch for his Heisman campaign, though. I will say that, and that I can be proud. Anyway, I love it, man, because it's just gonna make Arch and it's gonna bolster his campaign. Week 1 going into the shoe and winning will look great for him. But yeah, I think Ohio State fans enjoy it because in about 7 months, 8 months, it's gonna be back to, oh, well, can we fire this guy and get somebody else?
Yeah.
And I call me crazy, but how attractive do you think the Ohio State job is right now? You think it's attractive, or what do you
No
think?
way. If I'm an up and coming coach, unless it's something where it's like, man, if I get this thing on my resume, even if I do get fired, I'm guaranteed a job at a lower level college.
Yeah,
I can see one of those kind of coaches taking the job. But if you're like a smart coach, you've been coaching for a while, you know what you're capable of, and you really think of the Ohio State project,
yeah,
you're like, man, I maybe get a year to have a decent year, and that second year, things go wrong, people leave, hit the portal, something like that happens, I'm done. Like even if I don't want to, if I don't win it all, basically that's Ohio State mindset. I've never seen anything like it. They want to win it all every single year.
yeah,
They're not the smartest down there in Ohio. No offense to them, but
yeah.
it's kind of, everybody can see it. If you're a competent coach, you're not taking that job. Like I
No,
said, unless you're some like pirate coach, you want to go
yeah,
and you're like, man, I can get fired from this place and still land a job somewhere because I said I coach at Ohio State.
yeah.
It is what it is. But competent coaches, bro, they ain't gonna take that job.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I just don't see, like you said, the fan base has a lot of big expectations, but the next thing that you said too is because the standard of Ohio State has been, it's like anything Alabama with Nick Saban.
Yes.
Like the standard's so high for so long, it's like if you're not competing for national championships, people start looking at you in a bad way. And it's like you're saying, and the thing is, if Ryan Day gets fired, Jeremiah Smith is hitting the portal. Like I'm telling you right now, I honestly, I think he honestly, I think, and I told Sammy this. I think I said this on a podcast. I think he should right now. If he wants to do his best for his career, um, he needs to go because here's what's going to happen. He's going to end up having the same thing that happened to Ryan Williams, where you're not going to be able to have the production you want because you don't have a quarterback. And when that happens, then you get Ryan. People love it. He's still going to be first round pick, but the idea of Ryan Williams being it's kind of died off. And so when you don't have a quarterback, I don't care how good you are, you can't produce as a receiver. If I was Jeremiah Smith, I'd go down to Florida, where I'm from, and play my boy DJ Lagway. Boom, leave a legacy at Florida. You're going to get a chance to compete for Natties. You get a first round pick at quarterback. I mean, you get to stay in your hometown. That's not like you're gonna. I mean, Florida and it ain't lacking in NIL. You know, so it's just like to me, that's a dream situation if I'm Jeremiah Smith. And because I just don't see it working out with him. And like if Jeremiah Smith gets drafted from I'd be shocked at this point because I just don't see a way where they have a quarterback that's going to be able to meet his needs. And especially if you're okay, if you blow out by Texas, don't have a good game, shut you down, all that kind of stuff. Everybody can see it's a quarterback problem, and then you go on your phone and all you see is DJ Lagway in Florida rolling, DJ Lagway. Florida, they're on fire, man. This offense is hot. They're top team in the country. All I'm gonna say is, man, maybe I should just go back. Lagway gonna be back from we in the same class. Go back another year. Go to my hometown, all my friends and family. My family don't gotta drive all the way to Nasty, Ohio, to go watch me play. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't got to be in the freezing cold all the time, right?
Exactly.
You're not from Ohio. You're not used to that. He's not used to that. I get to be in the weather. I can enjoy my off seasons at home. I don't have to keep going back and forth. Like to me, that sounds like the idea to me. We'll see what happens. But if I was to not be, that's what I would do. Just to better my career. Because it's about doing what's best for you. And if you want to be this number one overall pick, you got to have a quarterback at the end of the day. I believe so. If you want to get the production you want, or you're going to end up like Ryan Williams, where people is going to kind of forget about you. Because it almost feels like, am I wrong? People forgot about Ryan Williams.
No, they did. They did. He doesn't have as much hype as he did like the first couple weeks. He had hype, and it's kind of died down now.
Exactly. Well, look at Texas receivers. I mean, yeah, Golden did great, but Bond didn't have the season people expected. Ryan Wingo kind of he had a great start, didn't flamed out. Yeah. All these Bolden. Bolden kind of flamed, a lot of guys flamed that, because Texas didn't have a reliable quarterback that could kind of, manage a game and just be accurate, honestly. So a lot, I mean, I watched guys, I just watched Isaiah Bond's draft stock get tanked. I watched it live, you know what I'm saying? So I watched Ryan Wingo kind of lose the allure he had early in the season. Look at Cam Coleman. No one really talked about him because he didn't have a quarterback getting the ball. So you can think I'm lying, but there are situations out there that have shown, especially this last season with receivers in the same class Jeremiah Smith, that shown it doesn't matter how good these guys are. They don't have quarterbacks to get them the ball consistently. They're not going to be able to perform, and then people are going to look at them like, oh, it's you, when it's not them as a quarterback. So I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I think Ohio State's in for a long next season. And if I was a Ohio State fan, get all your trash talk in now, because you're going to get blown out by Texas. And then Michigan's going to whoop you for about the 50.
That's going to be hilarious.
Wait, Sandy. Okay, so honestly, though, when is Ohio State ever going to beat Michigan? I mean, this could go on for a decade.
Yeah, no, if you really think about it, dude, because Michigan is on the up. I really think they're going to be good for a while.
They are. Sharon Moore's a really good coach, man.
Exactly. No, he's great. And last year was the year to beat them. So to not beat them in your national championship year, that is a very scary predicament. If I'm Ohio State,
exactly, because and then think about it, you're gonna get Underwood for 3 years, and next year's gonna be that's when it's gonna be the worst.
Exactly,
so that's when the roster's gonna be the worst. Is that because it's gonna be his first real recruiting class. So a lot of the guys he's got is young guys, freshmen, that kind of stuff, redshirt freshmen. So next year, if you can't beat Michigan next year when they're kind of in that rebuilding phase, then you never, and then Underwood, because once that kid figures it out, watch out. Okay, so just like if you can't beat them, then I don't know when you're ever gonna beat them. I'm gonna be honest, like not within the next 5 years. I don't see how. So like I said, it's gonna be definitely something to watch. But Ohio State, get your trash talk in now, man, because it may be a long time before you can say anything again. I'll be honest, and because they always talk trash them in Oregon and that kind of stuff. Get it in now, man, because it's not going to end well for you. And y'all know that Ryan Day is not the answer. So stop acting like he is, because you know he's not. So then let's talk about this. Let's transition back to the NFL.
Mm.
Let's transition back to the NFL, and first let's talk about Detroit, the Lions versus the Commanders. So, well, let's talk about their whole division. Was the NFC North? The Lions, no playoff win. Packers, no playoff win. And who was the Vikings? No playoff win.
Straight out embarrassing. I really thought they would do way better. That is embarrassing. And let me tell you, I mean, I predicted the Lions were going to lose eventually. I didn't have much confidence.
Yeah.
For them to lose to the Commanders, where I can sit here and say today the Commanders have a shot of going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And if I'm really thinking the way the Chiefs have been playing,
Yeah.
I'm picking the Chiefs to win the Bills, by the way.
Yeah.
The way the Chiefs have been playing, the Commanders have a legit chance to win it all.
Wow.
Which is like, it's almost like a joke. It's almost like a cruel joke. But to say this, dude, this is the same Commanders team that struggled to beat Dallas throughout the year.
They did. They did.
They somehow put up 45 points on the Lions. I don't know how.
Well, okay.
Right.
Well, if you don't mind me interrupting,
no, you good.
I'll say this right now, and I want to kind of transition this, and we'll come back to this discussion in a second. Aaron Glenn and his defense, and I remember I told you this multiple times. His style of defense, you can't play man coverage for that long when you have we said it. At some point, somebody's going to get you. You cannot play man coverage for that long unless you have Darrelle Revis, which they don't, and you better have about 3 or 4 of them dudes. They don't. That's what. And so it's like they mean, like, of course, yeah. De'Ami Brown, Terry McLaurin, Elias Zacchaeus. They ran into some really good receivers and an elite one in Terry McLaurin, and they ran into a really elite quarterback in Jaden Daniels. It was gonna happen. So I kind of want to transition that into now he gets hired by the Jets. Knowing Aaron Glenn's defensive scheme, is that an impressive hire to you or what?
I don't know how to phrase it. I really don't. I think it could have been a lot worse. I'll put it at that. If I were to grade it, I would grade it as like a B-. Only because of the fact that his defense has potential. Yeah. But I think it requires a lot of talent. So
exactly.
The Jets, they have talent. I'm not sure if they have enough. And then as far as like coaching goes, I think he can bring the culture that the Jets need. Yeah. Where I think right now for the Jets is most important. Their culture stinks down there. They have a horrible environment, and they need somebody they need some new blood down there. So if Aaron Glenn can go down there and hire the right offensive coordinator and make his defense at least competent and make the Jets a competitive team, I think that's where he peaks as far as Aaron Glenn.
No, I think, as I said, I think a beat. It just depends on how long until people figure you out. You know, when you play this, like I just call this like man, when you only play man like that much, because I think I said he played like 70-80% of the time. The Lions play man. So, I mean, I'm assuming, you know, they have Sauce Gardner and that kind of stuff. So then he has a good base to start with in the Jets. But, you know, I think I say this for Jets fans. It's a B right now. But if people figure out if the Commanders kind of put the blueprint out on how to like kind of rip apart that little man coverage scheme he's running, that it's going to end up being a C or a D or an F, because his defense is, like you said, it's sort of relying on his players actually just making plays.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, and that kind of stuff. And like you said, the Jets don't have the horses right now, and it may be a couple years till they have those horses. And so, like you said, it's going to come down to who is he going to hire offensive coordinator? It's going to be a big deal too, because we saw what Houston, they have a quarterback, but look at their offense. It was very clunky, wasn't very good. They might have been able to beat the Chiefs if they actually had an offense.
Yeah.
So like I think that's going to be the next big thing too. Like you said, so Jets fans, we'll see. Like you said, but I do think for Jets, they've been so bad. I mean, the bar's so low. I mean, honestly, this really should be like an A for them.
No, I would say, man, that culture stinks out there.
No, I would say, I know for sure he can come build a culture and a standard.
Yes.
And he can hold players accountable, and it won't be like a mess over there. And because like, and I would, him to me too was like, every day is like, oh, Garrett Wilson this, and this guy's taking a shot this, and so this guy's saying this. That won't be happening anymore. So at least like you can know like, okay, we're not going to go to the media and say this. We're not going to do this. We're gonna act a certain way. We're gonna do things a certain way. And I can't say the Jets will be able to compete in these games, that kind of stuff. And he's going to bring back that kind of tradition and that kind of stuff. And I think the Jets are in good hands.
I mean, you know, the owner is probably about as bad as Jerry.
No, exactly. The owner's like
he stinks.
He said, what did he say? They didn't trade for Jerry Jeudy because of his Madden rating. Like what? Like I don't.
And then, did you hear, bro? I think it was like 2 weeks into the season. It might have been a little bit more, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. Dude, he wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers. Bro, and basically, dude, the coaches have to hold him off on the idea of benching Aaron Rodgers mid-season, which would have been if you thought the Jets were a crap show before, try benching Aaron Rodgers without Zach Wilson and see where that gets you. I mean, dude, this guy Woody, he sucks.
No, he does.
And he's up there with that Jerry tier.
No,
so yeah, I mean, like I said, they just need somebody to bring some culture. So Aaron Glenn, for right now, I need you to bring some culture and make the Jets competitive, and I'll be okay with that.
No, exactly like you said, and this Woody guy it's just like for Dallas. Is he going to step out or is he going to step in? Like, is he making decisions? That's me. I see too. Is Aaron Glenn getting his guys or is it Woody Johnson's guys? Because well, I want to turn down NCAA and he was an 85.
Bro, how dumb do you have to be, bro? I mean,
like, so that's
why would you admit that publicly? How stupid do you have to be?
No, exactly. Like I don't know why that got out, but you know, like what they say, what's in darkness must come to light. Like you know, you can't hide things forever. So he got burned, and that's gonna be a big thing too. Like you said. I don't know if Aaron Glenn's gonna be the guy to win a Super Bowl for the Jets. I highly doubt he is. The AFC is really, really good, and it takes some really good teams and coaches. But I think it's a good start to building a culture and a foundation, and you know, and that kind of stuff. So I think the Jets are heading in a good direction. Now back to what we were saying with Detroit, though. How embarrassing! So I mean, that was just embarrassing, flat out.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, okay. So the thing. You know, that's why I say like quarterbacks. Jared Goff was never going to be the answer, and I think Lions fans forgot that. Remember 2 years ago, that's all it was. Oh, he's a bridge guy, and then now y'all talk about him like he's some kind of MVP candidate. He was never that. three picks, one being a pick six, and you got run over like a bus.
Bro, dude, and the Lions were talking the most.
They were
probably all the fan bases. They were talking the most. I couldn't wait for them to get out. Until I cherished that moment. I treated them like Ohio State. No, I mean, it was a blast.
No, they were definitely cheering the most. They deserve that. They need to be covered in life because. And here's the thing for Detroit: you lose both your coordinators. So I don't know what they're gonna do next year.
Oh, dude, that's just cruel. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was hating on them to lose. I didn't ask for that. I mean, dude. For them to lose both their coordinators and leave poor Dan Campbell by himself, dude, Dan Campbell better do some soul searching. He better find the right candidates.
But here's the thing, I think their window has closed. Like I think whatever window they had, this was the year to make it.
Dude, a lot of dudes are hitting contracts. They are. I know a lot of young guys are.
No, they are, and I think this is the easiest the NFC is going to be for a while. Yeah. You know, I thought with Jaden Daniel, I'm okay, he's a rookie, that kind of stuff. And then the Eagles just haven't looked impressive. For how loaded they are, they haven't looked impressive the whole season. And so I thought this is the year for them to go at least make it to the Super Bowl. And to not even make it past the second round. I mean, this is just being embarrassing. I mean, that's the whole division, because all that winning and bragging that division did about, oh, we're so great, and there's all this, and oh, the best division here and there, we iron sharpens iron. All that crap just for y'all not to win a single playoff game is just so embarrassing.
And send the freaking Eagles and Commanders to the NFC East title game. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. Those two teams stunk. Bro, come on. That's embarrassing.
No, it is, because the Commanders really, like, not trying to take away from them, but this is the year for them to make like it just worked out perfectly.
Exactly.
This was the year, like,
yes.
Because like the Eagles they almost blew the game to the Rams. And the Rams almost won that at the end of the game. They're like, what? They got turnover on down with the 20-yard line, this close to the Rams. They're gonna run. So it's just like I said. I think Detroit's window's closed. And honestly, I'll say it now. It wouldn't shock me if Dan Campbell gets fired in the future. I'm just gonna be honest.
You're not lying. You're not
Because
lying.
here's the thing. He's a CEO head coach, so he's not calling plays each side of the ball. So what's gonna make or break him as a head coach is who his coordinators are. And you just lost two of the best in the business.
Yeah.
That's gonna be very, very hard to replace. Not saying he can't win, but to think that we're gonna replace Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. You may find one replacement for one of them, but I highly doubt you're going to find both of them, both elite replacements.
He has to do some searching, and
no,
honestly,
he does.
I don't know how. I mean, Robert Saleh is one guy to look at.
No, he just got hired by the 49ers, and we'll talk about that soon. But right after, I forgot who announced. Oh yeah, once the Jaguars announced their head coach, then he went right after he signed with the 49ers, so he's off the market. Which makes sense for him.
Yeah.
Smart. That kind of stuff. But again, like that's what. So Rothwell's not even on the board again. And I'm not sure if he would have went to Detroit, honestly. I think he wanted to be in San Fran mainly because he knows those guys. That organization, he trusts the organization, that kind of stuff. So, and I'd rather live in Cali. Well, maybe not right now, but
exactly.
but that kind of stuff than Michigan, Detroit. I living that kind of stuff. So. But like you said, they're gonna do a lot of soul searching. I think they're done. I think the window's closed. I really don't ever think there was a window to win it, but I do think there's a window to make it. And I think last 2 years was at least they could have made the fact that they're gonna go 2 years in a row with the two best teams they probably ever had, and like the whole since they ever became a team, and they couldn't even make it to the Super Bowl. It's a little embarrassing to me. And I'll be honest, until the Lions fix, because here's the thing. So now guess what? You're gonna have two coordinators gone. And you're gonna have a quarterback that is just not elite. Jared Goff is he's decent, he's good, but he's not nothing special.
Oh, he's aging too.
It's aging too, exactly. So it's like the Lions need to figure out how can we get an elite quarterback? How can we get one of these top guys? What do we have to do? Because that's gonna be the next step for them. I think Dan Campbell honestly might be out of a job here soon in the future. Because
these two hires are going to define his
they are. But here's the thing, even if let's say they go 9-6 or whatever. Think about it. He's going to be the hottest name in the NFL because all they're going to say is, wow, what a fall off. Blah, 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 blah. So it's like when your name is hot like that, that's not a good thing. And so I think what's going to happen is they're not going to be as good this next season. They're going to drop some games they probably wouldn't have dropped the years before. And they're probably going to be like 11-10, maybe 9-1 team. And then they end up making the playoffs, whatever. They flame out again. And then the year after this, so 2 years from now, it's going to be a make it or break it year. And it's probably going to break him. I'm just going to be honest. I don't see Dan Campbell lasting in Detroit unless he finds in a superstar quarterback, elite quarterback. But I just don't see them happening. With Jared Goff, he's never going to win it. And somebody is going to have to take the fall for that, and it's going to be him at the end of the day. And it's going to be put on him. So I think Dan Campbell will get fired here in the next couple of years. I just don't see him lasting. My answer, take how you want, but the window's it's over now. Y'all can go back to being whatever, Saki and poverty. And that kind of stuff. So, and I never thought Detroit was all that. Like I said, I mean, what Seattle put about 30 on them. I mean, so there's some like we had elite receivers that could beat man coverage. So like the schemes and Aaron Glenn's like it was never that impressive to me. So we'll see what happens, but I think Detroit's about done.
Yeah, they are.
They'll flame out. Detroit, you can go home. Go back to being sucky.
Thank God, bro. I hate those fans, bro. I'm sorry. They were too loud, bro. They came out of nowhere too.
They did. They did. And the thing is, the year they needed these last years was a perfect time for them to have Matt Stafford. This was the perfect time for them to get Matt Stafford. They should have kept him, bro.
Oh, it would have been a better time. The Rams, by far, if you look at it, by far they won that trade.
Oh, they fleeced him. I don't know. And I never understood that because I don't remember Matthew Stafford ever requesting a trade. I don't remember him saying, I don't want to be there. They just said, we're trading you. So correct me if I'm wrong, but they kind of forced Matt Stafford out, not the other way around.
No, they did.
And this has been the perfect time last year to have a guy like Matt Stafford who won a Super Bowl. And Jared Goff, guess what? He lost his 10-3. He couldn't even score a touchdown. It's been a perfect time, man. I think they they got fleeced. And I knew the day that they did that trade, they got fleeced because Jared Goff was never the guy. Sean McVay's one of the best offensive minds in the game. If he's telling you, look, this Jared Goff guy ain't gonna win a Super Bowl, who the hell are you to tell him? No, yeah, he is. And then look at Detroit. Guess what? He only proved him right because he took Matt Stafford and won a Super Bowl. Gave y'all Jared Goff. Y'all can't even win a playoff game. So he was right. He told you.
They can't even win a playoff game with winning 15 regular season games.
That's
I mean,
why.
how embarrassing.
That's
Even the Cowboys in their good past 5 years, we haven't won their 15 games.
Like, that's just so embarrassing to me, man. All that flaunting about a one team and blowing out the Jaguars, which was never an accomplishment.
Bro, somebody made the comparison. I remember they were like, man, like, dude, these guys are blowing out all these bad teams. They're acting like the Cowboys. They're blowing out all these bad teams, you know.
Yes.
And I'm just waiting to see what they do in the playoffs because these guys are, I mean, I almost guarantee next year they'll probably blow out the Jaguars. They'll probably blow out the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Come playoffs, I guarantee it's going to do the same thing. The Lions, you know, there's too big mouth. I don't think they probably got a taste of what it's like to win, and you know they go wild. So for Dan Campbell, bro, these next two hires, and really, I don't even know who he can hire. Like
exactly,
he has to do some searching. He has to do some really and evaluating because that takes evaluating at the highest level. When all the talent is basically gone.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's basically gone. So
it's basically gone.
I mean, good luck to Dan Campbell, bro. I mean,
man, he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Good luck to him, but I think it's got going well. But then I want to ask you about this. So we know that the 49ers hired Rob Saleh, and I remember I told you earlier in the season, I said this D coordinator that they got, Nick Sorensen, for the 49ers, he ain't no good. And I think that showed. I think Arizona hung 45 on them.
With all that talent. My.
Yeah, so he got let go. And like I said, I don't even know where I mean, I was one of them off the street.
Dude.
I'll tell you, they got him off the street, man.
That is bad. Holy crap.
So they got blown out and embarrassed. So I think them hiring Rob Saleh was the best thing they could have done. And honestly, it worked out that the Jets fired him because that honestly may have saved the 49ers. He's an elite defensive mind.
Yep.
And he's going to be able to restore their defense back to what they used to be. Because this year they were atrocious. They were not a good unit at all. And they just looked out of place, bro. I mean, it just didn't look good at all. And
what happened to them, man? It's been a crap show for them this year.
I know. It's Nick Sorensen. I tell you, he's an idiot. I don't know what plays he was calling, but they were the worst. And you know when they put the coach over there, he calling the play like he's some kind of guru, and he looking like, oh, I got the headset, like just like me, like with the headset and the mic. Yeah, I'm a guru.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you think.
Man, you're no guru. Man, he's probably reading Danny's menu.
Because I told you, I was like, man, even when they beat us, I was like, man, this 49, like it was like used to when you played 49, you'd be like, man, before you even got to their offense, like, man, that defense with Nick Bosa, like you're like, man, how are we gonna get, how are we gonna be able to kind of minimize those guys? And now like always the thing with the 49ers, their defense is just so good or so hard to kind of get past that with him and Warren and all those guys. And this year, it almost like struck fear in you when you played it for like, man, that defense is really good. And this year, just like, especially when they blew us out the first time in Seattle, I didn't see the elite defense. I didn't see the fear. I didn't say, oh my gosh, we can't even go anywhere right now, or we can't do nothing versus defense. They're destroying us. I just didn't get that feel. And once I knew that, I knew this guy wasn't it. So great for the 49ers. I think it was a high. What's your grade on it? I think it's an A+, honestly.
Oh, A+. Yeah, this is the best guy you can get, in my opinion. So A+ for me. I actually wanted the Cowboys. Like I said, I'm taking him as head coach of the Cowboys. So to see him become a defensive coordinator for the 49ers, is I mean that's just a whole nother nightmare that I'll have to deal with to play him now.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough. And so let's transition to I think the last coaching hire. I don't know if you heard the story, but the Jaguars are a mess, and as we all know, so they're in the middle of trying to hire. Well, they were in the middle of trying to hire a coach, and then they fired a GM, Trent Baalke, which I don't make no sense to me because if you're gonna hire a coach, shouldn't you want your GM to be a part of that process? Because shouldn't the GM be hiring the coach, not the coach hiring the GM? So that's my first question with the Jaguars. I think, honestly, Shad Khan, their owners, and Jerry Jones, Woody Johnson, he's in that category. Until he passes away, they'll never win anything over there.
Dude, that guy's. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, he's hilarious, bro.
No, he is. He
It's hard
is.
to see him as an owner, bro.
Nah, he looks like a character. He looks like a cartoon character, like with his mustache. Like
Yes.
he didn't look real, honestly. But
Yes.
so I don't know if have you heard the story about Jacksonville and that whole debacle?
No, what is, I heard
Uh,
all I was I think they're hiring Tampa Bay's offensive
yeah.
coordinator.
So the story is, the Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator, just to give context, Liam Cohen. Well, actually, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see.
Hmm.
I see if I can pull the story up because the moral of the story is he screwed over Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is pissed.
I can't blame them, dude. To
Like,
leave a team this late.
no, but that's the thing because the Jaguars screwed him over. They screwed him over. I'm gonna tell you. I'm trying to see if anybody pulls about. So what happened was, here's what happened, bro. And I honestly, and then we'll talk about the hire.
Hmm.
Like, look, even I just said the Bucks are irate over what just happened. And they should be. Here's what happened, man. They said the biggest snake in football. Okay, so what happened was Liam Cohen was in the running for Jaguars head coach before they fired their GM. Then he found out, okay, you're in the running, but you're probably not going to be hired. And he or not either. I know it was not hired. He wasn't really interested. I don't think he really liked the GM and that kind of stuff. It was kind of a mix of both. It doesn't feel like it's going to fit with them too, and they might be going somewhere else. Jacksonville. So he went back to Tampa Bay and said, "Look, I went. They're not. I'm not. We're not on the same thinking. We're on the same wavelength. We're not on the same side. So I'm going to come back. He told Tampa Bay's front office, I'm coming back to y'all. Where's the contract? Give me the contract. I'll sign. Let's do it. And then, like a day after, 2 days later, they fired a GM, and then Shad Khan, the owner, in their front office, calling back. Like, look, we want to hire you. I guess just like Jerry Jones, he did his own personal search and said, look, I want to go. So he called the guy. He's like, man, why don't you come on down to Jacksonville? Let's do it. But then they said Tampa Bay called Liam Cohen, and then he told them like, oh yeah, I'm at the doctor's office with my kid or whatever. He was sick. And then Tampa Bay hears a report. Oh yeah, actually, never mind. Liam Cohen's flying to Jacksonville right now to go interview for the job in Jacksonville, and they end up hiring Liam Cohen, and he never told the Bucks really anything that was going on. And the Jaguars screwed over the Bucks because, and they kind of screwed over the Bucks because I don't know if you understand that whole situation, but to kind of sum it all up, they weren't going to hire Liam Cohen, and they fired the GM, and Shad Khan and the owner got involved, took things into his own hand like Jerry Jones. So I want this Liam Cohen guy in Jacksonville, and he went and got him. He went and said, "Come on, I'll hire you right now." And then, but then the thing was, Liam Cohen was supposed to already have signed a contract already with Tampa Bay to kind of like re-sign. Like, okay, I'm here for sure. I'm not going anywhere. I guess he never did, and so he kind of just went out and kind of just snuck out of Tampa Bay and flew back to Jacksonville. Interviewed, they hired him like right on the spot. And Tampa Bay didn't know any of this. Liam Cohen didn't call us like, oh yeah, by the way, blah blah. They kind of just did this behind the scenes, and so that's the whole story right now. It's one of the craziest I ever heard about a coaching decision. That was just a mess.
No, I've never heard a story like that.
So, I don't like it was honestly, it's a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too high on the hire. I think it's more of maybe a C or a B. I don't think it's all that great of a high. I mean, Sam, you the Cowboys played them. I mean, like it didn't look so. I said it didn't look like Ben Johnson. It didn't look elite. It looked good, sometimes really good, but it just didn't look elite. And I'm not a fan of the hire, but like we said, Shad Khan, he's in the Jerry Jones category. So I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I mean, you know what I'm saying. So can really be surprised. I'm not a fan of it. I think Jacksonville screwed up. I would rather kept Doug Peterson. If you're gonna hire, I rather keep Doug. I would have kept Doug if you're gonna hire this guy. And I just think Jacksonville's a mess. I don't see anything getting fixed over there. And honestly, I'm ready for somebody players to request a trade because I just think the organization is just a bunch of dudes that don't know what's going on and aren't very bright in football, and they want to win. But wanting to and then having the knowledge on how to do it is two different things. Jacksonville just doesn't have the knowledge. And so I think they're screwed. I think Jacksonville's not going anywhere. But let me hear your thoughts on the hire and the whole situation.
I'm gonna be honest, I was shocked by that. When I first heard of it, I was like, man, it's crazy that Tampa Bay offense coordinator was even in consideration. Dude, I didn't think because like when I think of hiring head coaches,
Yeah,
and you start off with assistants, I'm thinking maybe maybe the top tier of assistants.
yeah,
That's probably who you'll go for. I mean, Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator. I don't even know his name. Um, he
yeah,
wasn't in the top from what I can remember. Like you
yeah,
said, he's very average. He'd have some
yeah,
good games.
yeah,
Some stinker games, but
yeah,
an average kind of offense, nothing
yeah.
crazy. But for you to go hire the guy as head coach, um, I don't know what kind of culture he brings. He doesn't seem like he brings much culture.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, like he just came in after didn't we take the Panthers took
Yeah. Dave Canales. Yeah. So he was his
Panthers
replacement.
took
Yeah.
the guy, so he came in. He's fresh off the coordinator from Tampa Bay. I
Yeah.
don't know what culture he brings. So yeah, it's a very risky hire. Fine, I'm gonna rate it a C plus. We'll see what his offense can do. But yeah, I'm just not very moved. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. I wasn't either. Like I said, I think it was a bad hire, and Jacksonville just lost. But I'll tell you this. I tell you this. If Trevor Lawrence wants to come to Seattle, we got a home for you.
Wow.
They
I
said
was gonna say, how do you feel about Trevor Lawrence?
okay, and I know we talked about it before earlier during the
I'm seeing
season.
some
That kind of stuff.
slander about him. What's going on?
No, there's slander, but here's my thing. I was a Clemson fan before I think right before he got there. Um, and he honestly Clemson they kind of he got me like that whole Clemson thing that I had. It got me into recruiting. Like I remember because I remember he was like, oh yeah, it was Georgia and Clemson and all kinds of, he's a 5-star #1 player. And that's how I learned about the whole recruiting aspect. That's a whole different story though. But yeah, so I already have I've already been attached to Trevor Lawrence, and I was a big fan of him. Was at Clemson because he was really really good. Um, I'll say this: it's hard for me to grade the guy because I don't respect or I don't think Jackson was doing a great job building around him. And the
Mm.
one year they did, I think it was the year y'all lost to them. They got that pick six, whatever, or like a drop pass, whatever. It was like one year they had the one. It was like a year or two ago when they had a really good season. But my thing is they haven't put anybody elite around him. Christian Kirk, Zay Flowers, Zay Jones, Brian Tyler Jr., the first elite receiver they put around him, balling out. And Mac Jones it's been a mess. I can't even keep track. I mean, nobody watches Jaguars games, so I can't really keep track of who's balling out with who. But
Bro, that might be the
hey,
worst represented franchise in the league. If you really think about it, bro.
they are. They
Who
are.
is legit a Jaguars fan? I don't think I know one. And that's shocking because I know a
Wow.
lot of football fans.
No, exactly. But because they've been sucky for a while.
Yeah.
No, I would say this: if you know that Jaguars team with Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Fournette, and oh my
Legendary team.
gosh, that was a team that I have nostalgia with.
Yeah.
And AJ Boye and oh my gosh, Saxonville. They used to call him Saxonville, Calais Campbell, because they used to oh my gosh, the D line was so good. But ever since then, they've kind of like you said, they've been not talked about. And like you're saying, I was hard for me to grade Trevor Lawrence because he hasn't had even Dak has had weapons. Even the second, they've had I've seen, but they haven't. His best receiver was Christian Kirk, and he made Christian Kirk 1,000-yard receiver. You know what I'm saying? And Evan Ingram, and they gave him a so-so offensive line. That's not bad. And then who was his offensive coordinator? Has he had anybody elite? Has he had any elite coaches?
Exactly.
So it's hard for me to slander Trevor Lawrence when I haven't seen, and their organization is a mess from top to bottom. So it's the same thing. I'm not saying Sam Darnold's elite, but everybody was slandering Sam Darnold. But guess what? Was it Sam Darnold? It was a Jet Star organization. Everybody was slandering Baker Mayfield. Was it Baker Mayfield or the Browns organization? When it comes to organizations I don't respect, it's hard for me to judge the quarterback. I think as fans, people don't understand. If it was Kansas City or some other organizations like the Rams, like if you go to LA or these teams that have organizations that people respect and know and trust and that kind of stuff, and know that they're winners and they know what they're doing, then I can say, okay, yeah, well they tried and he just wasn't good. Then I can believe it. But I'm not gonna people got to stop falling into the trap of, oh yeah, it's the quarterback's fault when he's a part of an organization that's a dumpster fire. So I'm not gonna believe any of the Trevor Lawrence stuff until I see him on an organization that actually knows what they're doing. So I would love to have him in Seattle. I don't think he forgot how to throw the ball. I think he's a really good quarterback. And I'm a big fan of him. I think people slandering him. I just fall into the same trap they fell into with Sam Darnold. And not saying they're elite, but they're not as bad as people made him out to be. And the same trap with Baker Mayfield. As I said, he's no good. And guess what? Not saying those guys are elite, but they took both these teams were in the playoffs, and they both had amazing seasons. So it's just like I'm not going to buy into that too much, honestly, because I'm not going to fall into that trap. So I'm just gonna say that I don't respect Jacksonville, so I don't really care what goes on with Trevor, how bad he plays, until I see him with a real organization. I'm a fan of the guy, and I think that's how people should look at it. Honestly, stop. It's the Browns. When did the Browns ever produce an elite quarterback? Like,
Exactly.
who are the Browns? Who are the Browns that say, "Oh yeah, this guy's not elite"? If the quarterback plays bad for Cleveland, I'm putting that on Cleveland, not the quarterback, because they're a
Yep.
known horrible organization. Same thing for the Jets. They're a known horrible organization. So it's just like that's how I feel about it personally. I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts. You have any thoughts on Trevor?
No, I gotta agree with you. I mean, it's very hard to grade how he's been playing just because there's just been a lot of inconsistency. And you saw it a lot with Baker early on with his career on the Browns. I mean, the Browns really screwed over his career for a while. Sent him to the Panthers, who at the time were probably even worse.
Yeah.
Over an organization, we had a horrible owner. We put him on the offensive line to play scout team. It was a whole mess.
Exactly.
I mean, it's hard to tell with a lot of like organizations.
Yeah.
So for Trevor, like you said, I can't really put a grade and say, hey, this is the kind of quarterback he is. Like this is what you're gonna get out of Trevor. So it's kind of hard for me to grade Trevor right now. Just he's had too much inconsistency with like coaches, and I mean, it's hard to grade when there's so much moving parts of that. I can't really grade him like that.
Exactly. And think about it too. He's on his third head coach now.
Exactly. And you got to think about it. It might be like somebody can try to grade him, but it's not going to be reflective of how he really is.
Exactly.
Because it's like he's been playing. You gotta imagine he's been playing with bad offensive coordinators. His offense has been bad at the time. They haven't given him enough weapons.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, imagine Jalen Hurts. Imagine he was in that situation and he played there in his entire career.
Oh man.
I mean, everybody would know Jalen Hurts is trash.
Exactly.
Jalen Hurts is this. Jalen Hurts is that. I mean, that would really show like the true Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
I would think so because I mean, I think the Jaguars might be even worse if they have. Oh, that's a mic. They will.
They would be. They would be. They would be
even worse. With Jalen Hurts. So it's like, dude, you can't really grade how Trevor's been doing. It's just too much, bro. Too much going on. Like I said, you gotta see him with a competent. If they had hired a guy like Ben Johnson or something, then I would be like, okay, well, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, we can look back and see.
Exactly.
But I think for Trevor Lawrence right now, it's not really like representative of what he is. Like you can try to grade him, but it's like I just think it's like disingenuous. I wouldn't do it.
Exactly, and like you're saying, and I mean, but dude, his first coach, Urban Meyer, was kicking his kicker. I know we heard
that was the funniest head coaching stuff that ever happened. I won't forget that, bro. You remember the amount of memes, bro? Yeah. They went to one like game, I think, and Urban Meyer had a freaking girl on his lap or some crap at a bar.
Like, bro,
I won't forget that, bro. That was hilarious. It has to be hands on the funniest head coaching story.
Come on, your first year or your first, this is your first coach in NFL, and that's what they give you. Oh yeah, he's got people in his laps in the bar, and he's kicking his kicker, and like that's what they give you, and you're supposed to develop with that. Oh come on, man.
Dude, I won't forget it, bro. He was kicking his kicker. Hey, kick the damn ball better. You're kicking in between those two posts. He was kicking his kickers and stuff. And I was like, bro. This guy Urban Meyer, bro, and I still feel super bad for Trevor Lawrence. I was like, man, I mean, you have to go through that your first year. I mean, it's horrible stuff.
Exactly. So it's just like you said. I think we'll be able to grade him, but I do think he will end up getting traded. I don't see him staying his whole time in Jacksonville because I think now they have a new coach, people are going to start blaming him. I honestly, this is just how it goes. People are going to blame him. Oh, this guy's and he's an offensive. First of all, this is the good. Ain't no guru. So, okay, we'll say even if they know he's offensive minded, he could be offensive minded, and your offense could still suck no matter who's in it. Yeah, but they're gonna say, oh, he's an offensive minded. He's fit. He's supposed to. Trevor Lawrence, same thing with Russell. Even though I can see the Russell thing, but Trevor Lawrence doesn't fit his offense. He's not good enough. Is not the coach anymore. It's Trevor. He's had all these coaches. It's Trevor, and he probably ended up getting traded to Seattle. And let me tell you something. If Trevor Lawrence goes anywhere and balls out, let me tell you something. I'm just telling you right now, that dude's special, man. And he honestly, And that I knew he was special because, bro, like I said, he's one of the only guys I've ever seen come into college football and start as a true freshman. And remember, he started as a true freshman. And I think Clemson won a national championship that year, I know they made a college football playoffs as a true freshman. How many quarterbacks can do that as true? All the great him and Caleb Williams are the only two I've seen do it. So out of all the great true freshman quarterbacks, those two are the only, and he's one of the best I've never seen. He's so deadly accurate. It's hard. Like I said, I don't like if he gets on a real team with a real coaching staff and real players, and a real scheme. Whoever gets him in the future, if Jacksonville trades him, I think they will. They gotta have a special one, man. He's deadly accurate. He's smart. He knows the game. He can run. He's not he's a pocket passer, but he can move. He can definitely get first downs, that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I'm a big believer in Trevor, and I hope he can get out of there, man. I just know it must be hard because like at some point, like when you play in that organization, you just kind of lose the love of the game. Like, I mean, not love, but like it starts to become like not fun anymore because it's like, man, every year it's a new coach, and then think about it, all your friends texting you, man, what the hell's going on with Jacksonville? They said Josh Nuxum coach out there 24 hours ago. What the hell? what kind of crap? You know, like, and then all your friends and family looking at you like, man, what's going on in Jack? Maybe you need to get out of there. And then it's just embarrassing. The whole situation is just embarrassing. Like, the organization's a mess. Everybody could see it. All your friends and family looking at you funny, like, oh man, we went from you winning titles at Clemson to this mess. It's just like it's not no good. So hopefully you get in the future. But Sammy, I'll talk to you about something. I see some lists coming out lately, and I think before we get out of here, I just want to go through and I want to kind of name and come out with our own list. Me and you, let's combine. Let's start with the top 10 teams going into the next season. Give me a second. I'm going to pull up some lists of some just to give us some names so we can kind of come out with our way too early top 10 teams for 2025.
College football?
Yeah, college football. I want to do that. And then we'll go to quarterbacks. But let's start with teams first.
Okay.
So let me give you some names. So ESPN, they had Ohio State number 1. I can tell you right now, Ohio State won't beat it.
Hell no.
So this list is already busted.
Yeah.
Okay, they had Texas 2. They had Penn State won't be 3. Penn State 3 is a horrible team. If Penn State's the third best team in the nation, it's an atrocious year. So that won't happen. They have Notre Dame 4. I'm not so sure on that. We'll see. They lose a lot, man. Especially, and the biggest thing is quarterback. Who's going to be there for them? That's going to be the big thing. That's going to make it break. They have Georgia at 5. They have Oregon at 6. They got Clemson at 7. LSU at 8. BYU at 9. And you're a Big 12 guy, so I definitely want to hear your opinion on that one. And South Carolina at 10. So let's start at 1. Who is your number 1 team going in the next season? Right now,
the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, okay.
Give
Why?
Me Stark
Why?
And Arch Manning to take over college football next year. 100%.
Okay, just to back you up, I think I agree. I think people don't understand how good Arch Manning is. He's really. And my thing is this: look how bad Quinn Ewers was, and Texas still was able to make it to the Final Four last 2 years. So now they have an actual competent quarterback that can run, that can move. And I think Sark told you all he needs is a quarterback. Then any other questions you have about Sark, he's answered. His defense is elite. He has elite defense. I think Sark's as good as quarterback this year. I think it's going to be the beginning of maybe a dynasty where he's going to get his. But I think he's going to get his first. And I want to say something now. Let me hear your opinion on this since we're on the topic. Tell me, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I know Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, all these guys, Dylan Stewart, but I'm going to tell you right now, man. I think the best 2 players in the country reside in Austin, Texas. I think Arch Manning and Colin Simmons are the best 2 players in the country, man. And I know Jeremiah Smith is great, and everybody's, oh, man, Jeremiah Smith. But you got to remember, defensive end. As great as Jeremiah Smith, defensive end, man. That's top defensive end, left tackle, quarterback. Top 3 positions in football for a reason. It's been that way for a while now. I think Sark has the 2 best players in America reside in Austin, Texas. I want to hear your opinion on that, though. Do you agree with that, or what's your thing on that?
I can agree with the Arch Manning. Colin Simmons is always going to be debated.
Yeah.
But I think you can put him up there. That's an agreeable argument to put Colin Simmons.
Okay, exactly. So you can at least admit it's arguable.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying. Obviously, that's saying. It's not like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, for sure. There's no other way to think about it. I'm just saying, like by the end of next season, don't be surprised if we're saying here sitting in because Arch Manning's coming back. Let's put that out there right now. But by next season, don't be surprised. This time next year, we're sitting, everybody in the country sitting here saying, "Yeah, the two best players in college football reside in Austin, Texas." I'm just saying, don't be surprised people are saying it. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be honest because the Jeremiah Smith hype is gonna die off. He doesn't have a quarterback.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, Abdul Carter, like those Micah Parsons, as much as people love receivers, I mean,
those guys are the big. Those are the big ones.
think about it. They're thinking about passing up on Cam Ward. Titan thinking about passing up on Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders, and Travis Hunter just to draft Abdul Carter. And one of the, I think Matt Miller on Twitter. You can look. He's a big draft expert.
People want to see sacks.
Exactly.
We want to see you get into the quarterback.
Exactly. And think about it. Guys like Colin and Mike, they can end plays and they can wreck games. They can destroy whole games. So people have to understand that. And Matt Miller, who's a draft analyst expert, he said Abdul Carter is the number one guy on my board. He said that's his number one. He said I don't have anybody else. That no one's in his tier. He said Abdul Carter's in a tier of his own. So I'm just saying, if next year that if everybody's saying Arch Manning and Colin Simmons top two players in college football, just don't be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, next team, number 2. Who's your number 2 team? Who do you think is gonna be number 2?
Give me the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Wow!
I think they return a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I think they come back hungry, and I have confidence in Marcus Freeman to find the right quarterback. So, give me the Fighting Irish at number 2.
No, I do agree. I think I'm not sure who the guy. I think what's his name? CJ. I gotta look at their roster, but they got a young kid. They say he's supposed to be really good. Haven't seen him play, but if Notre Dame has a quarterback, I do think they could be the second best team in the country because their defense is really, really good, but they're almost like Penn State. Their defense is really, really good. They have a superstar running back in Jeremiah. Well, what separates them from Penn State is I think they have actual receivers. And the 2 guys I'm going to name is Jaden Greathouse and Jordan Faison. Are 2 really, really good guys, and are only going to get better going into next year. And so I think if Notre Dame can figure out the quarterback situation, I think they could definitely be I think it could be them in Texas in that championship game. Yeah. I think for me, Sammy, I'm gonna have to go against you though. Me personally, I think my number 2 team is Florida. I'm very high on DJ Lagway.
Still very much possible.
I'm high on him. I think the Swamp is an impossible place to play when they're rolling. I think that showed this year because they knocked off an Ole Miss team, and I think it was Ole Miss and LSU. Veteran quarterbacks went in there and struggled in the Swamp. And when they're rolling, it's almost like Texas. You don't want to be playing them at their place. Yep. And so I just think they're going to be impossible to beat at home. And then Lagway and the kind of style of football they play, they almost play like the Seattle teams. Russell Wilson was like, okay, we're going to run, lean on the trenches, and then third down, second downs, we're kind of going to play action, that kind of stuff, make it easy on the quarterbacks. And the big thing for Florida is going to be this: can they keep DJ Lagway healthy? How much are they going to run him? If he can stay healthy, they can make a national championship run. But he has to stay healthy, and they got to limit his runs. You can't run him like he's just, you just can't do it. You can't put his body, because he's their season. If they don't have him, they're done. Yeah. And so that's one thing I'll say. But if he can stay healthy, I like Florida being the number 2 team in the country. The defense got a lot better. I'm big fans of them. And honestly, I'll probably say Notre Dame's number 3 for me. So I just go and say Notre Dame's probably number 3. But I think them and Florida are interchangeable for me. But who's your number 3?
Oh, this one's a little bit debatable. I really think Oregon has enough talent.
Wow.
Come back in the top 5. Give me the Oregon Ducks. I could see them paying players this offseason. And I just think they would have enough talent to show something similar like they did last year. I don't think they'll win it all. I just don't think Dan Lanning is capable of going that far from what I've seen from him. But I definitely do see them going, maybe losing 1 or 2 games alone. They're going to pay their way out of not making a playoff.
Okay, my number 4 team, because we're at because that was your 3rd team, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at 4. And honestly, I think move Notre Dame to 4, make me put Clemson at 3. Yeah, actually, swap this. Put Clemson at number 2. I want to put Clemson.
Wow.
I put Clemson at 2. I got Texas, so this is I don't kind of get confused. I got Texas at 1, Clemson at 2, and I put Florida at 3 and Notre Dame interchangeable. 3 and 4, they're interchangeable. But I think Clemson, and here's why. I think they got 3 first-round picks at receiver: Antonio Williams, T.J. Parker, Bryant Wesco. I think K. Klubnik looks really, really good. What he did versus that Texas defense was really impressed me. Even that was without a run game. He didn't even have a run game that game. I think that's the kind of guy who's only going to get better. And I don't know if you heard, but they hired Penn State's defensive coordinator, and
Oh yeah,
we saw how good that Penn State defense was. And we know the big thing for Clemson was, Texas, we ran it that well on them. So, so it was just like, I think that the fact that they can get that he's going to get their defense fixed next year, and the fact that Dabo Swinney has won national championships, I always put coaching into this too. Coaches matter in this too, and having that experience of winning natties, and he knows what it takes. And then him kind of getting that defense fixed. I think Clemson my number 2 team. I think we might have saw a preview of that championship game in Austin a little bit. So I think
wow.
Clemson number 2 for me. But who's your number 4?
Number 4, I gotta go with the Clemson. I
Wow.
gotta agree with you.
Okay.
They're another team that's returning a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Klubnik is going to be a very special quarterback, I think, next
Yeah.
year. So, yeah, they're definitely. I think they're going to be top 5.
No, for sure. I think this. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised because the thing going around Clemson has been, and we even said like, will Dawson even last there? Will he last? But he's adapting. He went to the portal, got some guys from the portal. He said, "Look, my defensive coordinator is not good enough. I got to go get somebody else better." So I give him credit. If I'm going to dog on him while he's down, I got to give him credit. He is adapting to college football and making the tough decisions. And if he can do that, Clemson could be a national team year in and year out. And I think next year they're kind of going to go. I think they're going to surprise people because people aren't expecting it. But I think they're going to surprise. I think it'll be really tough to. They're going to be really tough to beat, man. Okay, so number 5.
Give me the Nittany Lions.
Wow. Okay, well, hold on. They just lost both their receivers. Their top 2 receivers. That doesn't affect you. I mean, don't forget. Sam, I just listed South Carolina, Georgia, LSU, BYU, Iowa State, Bama, Fighting Illini.
You know what? You just
your
mentioned a
list,
team that I think has potential.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, Penn State is returning a decent amount of talent as well.
Yeah.
But if I really had to think, I got to look up on LSU. I haven't done much research.
Yeah.
But Nussmeier definitely has capabilities to put them at number 5.
Wow.
And really for me, it could be interchangeable just because Nuss is with Brian Kelly, he's in a very weird situation. We saw Brian Kelly can ruin a quarterback's game, and I'm not a big fan of Brian Kelly, but he has, easily. Nussmeier has potential to be the number 1, and compete for that number 1 quarterback next year. So it's interchangeable, but give me LSU with Nussmeier. I have a lot of trust in him. I think it was at number 5 or 6.
You're at number 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me him at number 5, and then I got put. I don't know, man. I changed my mind about Penn State. Now I really realize it. They're losing a defensive coordinator, losing 2 receivers. Abdul Carter as well. Give me Florida at the number 6 spot.
Okay, no, I'm gonna have to make a doc so we can keep this on track. Hold on, let's pause for a second. Let me do Sammy, and I'm gonna go. Let me do this. Make a doc so we don't, because we about to lose track.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, we going. We're
going. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so number. Let me show you. Okay, so your number 1 team is you said Texas, right?
Texas Longhorns.
Okay, let me just, so when people watch, they can see it. I'd rather have the logo. So the name is okay. So for you at Texas. And this thing taking forever. Am I internet like Oak State? Okay.
Oh man, it must be rough.
Okay, then who's number 2 for you?
Notre Dame.
Okay, Notre Dame. What's gonna come up or gonna keep playing with me? Okay. Okay. Notre Dame. Okay, so number one Texas, number two Notre Dame. Damn, that's big.
Give me the Oregon Ducks number 3.
Okay, Oregon. No concerns about Dante Moore. That's not concerning you, or give me your thoughts. Yeah, let me get your thoughts on that. Dante Moore, how you?
I can see it playing out similarly to Texas last year, where I think Oregon is going to have a defense. I think the defense is going to be able to overcome a lot of games, especially in the Big Ten. They'll definitely I think they'll be a little bit overhyped. I'm not going to lie, but in the Big Ten, they're probably going to win the conference just with the amount of talent they'll have. Oh shit! Yeah. Dude, I think I left for a
You hear
little
me?
bit.
No, you did. Go to repeat what you were saying about Notre Dame. I mean
I
Oregon.
was saying oh, I think I left again. Holy crap! Oh no, I'm back. I was saying I think they're always going to be like Texas last year, where I think they have enough talent on the defensive side of the ball,
Yeah.
to overcome a lot of mishaps that Dante Moore would have. And I think the offense as well. They'll have talent on the offensive line. So I think Dante Moore's going to end up making a lot of mistakes. But in the Big Ten, Big Ten at the scariest conference. I'll be honest
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
They're probably going to win that conference.
No, yeah, I was say they say they have more. And
Yeah.
I want to discuss after we do this list. We'll end on that too because I want to hear your thoughts. Because I know some people are kind of shaming him. But who's your number 4?
Give me dude, who did I put there?
You said Clemson, but then
Oh
you start
yeah,
talking.
Clemson.
Okay, Clemson. Okay, Clemson. Okay.
Clemson and LSU at the 5.
Who who's the number 5?
And then LSU at the 5.
Okay, and you said because Nussmeier and that, cause Brian Kelly,
Nussmeier.
kind of wetting his pants in the big games doesn't scare you, or how you feel on that one? Go and explain that.
That's the biggest factor. I think he improves though from last year. I think they
Okay.
learned, and I think they come back with an improved system.
Yeah.
They can make a run in the playoffs, but I definitely think they'll be up there with Texas and Florida at the 6.
Okay, LSU. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and do mine. Then it's like, wow. Okay, LSU. Man, I think they may get left out of mine.
Wow.
Okay, so let me. Now you know how I'm gonna do. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna do 6, 7. Why is it this week? Hold on. 6. All right, then create some space right here. Okay, so let me go. My number 1 team, we already knew was Texas. Like Sammy said, I think Arch Manning. I think people are going to see, how good he really is. Especially with the deep ball. People don't understand how. Like, go watch Devontae Smith's highlights. It was a lot of that was deep, right? Getting over the top of people. Sark not having that in his offense is a big deal for Sark. So I think him getting that back and a quarterback that kind of move around, can run, is going to be something he didn't even have with Mac. And that Mac offense was pretty one of the best I've ever seen. So I think that'll be pretty special. Number 2 for me was Clemson.
Wow.
Big fan Dabo Sweeney. Like I said, for me, coaches play a part in this too. I got to believe in you as a coach. I believe in Dabo Sweeney, and he's won 2 already. So he shows when he has a team when he has the coaching and he has the players, he can beat you. He can beat anybody in the country. And I think he's going to have that next year for the first time in a while.
Yep.
Number 3, oh yeah, no, so I have Florida. Yep, I have Florida. DJ Lagway.
Wow.
I have Florida. Like I said, Lagway to me is the first round pick walking. Oh damn it. But I think he still has to show some stuff passing wise. Like, can he throw the ball at a high level? But I think he showed enough to me that I believe that he has a good foundation to build on. Definitely better than Lenore Sellers as a thrower. I think he has a good foundation. He gives me like it's gonna sound crazy, but he just gives me like Cam Newton vibes. Like, he's just a massive guy with a rocket arm. And so I think they're gonna when he leaves Florida, he'll be one of the best to ever come out of there. I think that's gonna be what it is. I think he's that good. And I'll just say this. Played behind him. I think that's the biggest thing is with DJ Lagway. And they played so inspired, and the team, the players really rallied around him because the games he didn't play like versus us, they looked horrible. They looked like they knew they were going to lose. But when DJ was in the game, that whole Florida team, it's like I just tell he's a leader on that team already, just because of his mannerisms, and they believe in him because whenever he's in the game, even the defense attitudes they change. They're like, man, we got DJ, let's go. I'll take my chances. Yep. So I just think him as a leader, that kind of stuff. I think he already has that team. That team's ready. They'll go to war for that guy. Honestly, I feel like so. So I feel the same way for Arch and Texas. So, and this is a tough one. This is a tough one. You look at some teams here. Man, I don't. Okay, I'll be honest. Like you said, I think I'm gonna go Oregon. Like, see, I think the Big Ten is not. It's not daunting. I'll go Oregon. I think like Texas, they'll get by just because of the talent they have. Yeah. Won't be too difficult of a schedule. Actually, I'm gonna switch it up. I just switch it up, but it's because I actually feel this way. This is gonna sound wild, and this is gonna go out of nowhere. But I'm telling you right now, man, there's a team that nobody's talking about that I actually think could beat Oregon, and I'm gonna go with the Fighting Illini. I've got Illinois as the number 4 team in the country. They beat South Carolina in the bowl game. Luke Altmaier's back for another year. A big fan of Brett Bielema. I think the Illini, who actually I think they play Oregon on the schedule this year, I think they're my number 4 team in America. It's going to sound crazy. It's going to, but I'm telling you, it's a quarterback thing, man. Altmaier. Bro, what the heck is this, bro? As long as they got him, I think they're my number 4 team in the country. Mainly because I think, especially when they play Oregon, they're going to beat Oregon. I think they'll be at home for that game too. It's gonna stop. They won 10 games. People understand. No one talked about it. They won 10 games this year. They weren't supposed to do crap in the Big Ten. So wow. I think the Illini.
Wait, so I must be hearing.
I believe.
I mean, wow.
Yeah,
that is a prediction.
Like I said, we'll revisit as the season goes on. We'll revisit, but Illinois, Luke. I'm gonna say Luke Altmaier for me is just quarterbacks to me.
No, they will be legit. Yeah.
No, they'll be legit, and I just think out of all the top teams in the Big Ten, especially Oregon, I'm betting on. Game situations. He's Norris and then played Nick Harbor all the way. It was a 4-quarter debut. They fought out, and people are gonna have South Carolina the top 10 team in the country next year. So I just think I really don't think it's gonna sound wild, but you got to give them respect. You can't, they got the, and like I said, I think that South Carolina one really moved me. Honestly, I'm a big fan of them. They're gonna shock people, bro. I think they got a real good coach. Number 5, Sammy, did you have did I put 5 down for you? Oh, it's you. So let me get my 5th. Have I said Notre Dame? I have.
Wow.
Number 5 for me. It's just so hard because quarterback. I don't know who Nunez's quarterback is, so I'm gonna kind of push it. Me personally, like I said, talent kind of stuff. Notre Dame with no quarter. So if I don't know your quarterback, it's hard for me to really put confidence in you. Okay, so Sammy, who's your 6?
At the 6th spot, give me South Carolina.
Wow.
South Carolina. I'll be honest. Okay. I mean, I think they're returning a lot of guys. Sellers, I think, is coming back. I put a lot of trust in Dylan Stewart. Yeah. They'll be up there with really them and LSU. LSU, and Florida. Those 3 teams are going to be competing. I think for that 2nd spot in the SEC. So
Okay, wow. Okay, so Lenore says throwing the ball. Do you have concerns there? Like, what's your thoughts on him as a thrower?
Mm, I think he'll improve now. I don't think he'll be above average. I
Okay.
think he'll take average for South Carolina to win games just because of that defense.
Yeah,
It definitely should. It should be up there with the top tier defenses.
I got you. Okay. For me at 6, how do I who am I gonna put? Man, okay. I think oh yeah, like you said, I think South Carolina. They guys, yeah, they're bringing back a lot, like you said. And they were young last year, so they're
Yep.
only gonna get better. I think 6 is where I'm at to put them. And Lenore, especially if he just gets even better, like just a little bit better throwing the ball, they're really gonna be hard to beat. So I guess like you said, I think it'll be them. Like you said, them, South Carolina, LSU. I don't know who the other team you said was for SEC. Oh, Florida.
Florida,
We're
Florida.
gonna be fighting for that second spot in the conference championship versus Texas, and I think those will probably be the 4 teams that get in for the SEC. I can
Yep.
almost guarantee those will be the 4. And we haven't said Georgia yet, so wow. Okay, number 7, Sammy, who you got?
Um. Ah. Give
No big
me. Give me the
BYU.
Arizona State Sun Devils.
Wow. So over because in this they got BYU at 9 and they got Iowa State at 11. So you're putting them over. You think they're better than both those programs?
Them 11. That quarterback is going to elevate
Wow.
Arizona State to a whole another level. He has the potential to completely redefine that program.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that quarterback play I saw versus Texas, I mean
Yeah.
that just basically secured the deal for me.
Yeah.
I'm putting my faith in them, bro. They are legit with Sam Levitt at quarterback. He doesn't play around at quarterback. He shows emotion. He gets in his offensive line's face if he ain't making the right block. Right, he'll get in his own face if he misses the pass.
Yeah.
I put my trust in that guy. Man, give me them at the 7.
Wow. Are you saying he's a leader? I think like the same thing with Lagway. They get behind him, and he's going to give them a chance. And he was a redshirt freshman. So
Yep.
just like a lot
Still
of the other
young.
teams, yeah, exactly. He has really a chance to improve. For me, and Sammy knows I've been high on these dudes, for a while now. I have to go Iowa State. I think they have a damn good coach. Rocco back, I think, is in for a big season. And then Abu Sama, the running back, I'm a big fan of him. And they got another dude, I think Hanson. I'm not sure if he's back for another year, but it was a white guy. I watched I was so random, bro. I watched the bowl game, bro, versus Miami. I'm thinking, okay, Rocco back, Abu Sama. Let me get a. Abu Sama didn't even play in the game. They had some other dude, and they still he looked just as good, if not better. So yeah, they're I think they're pretty underrated. And I think Rocco Becht is gonna take a big leap. I'm a big fan of him, man. So Iowa State. Here we go. It could be Iowa State. It could be a repeat of this year's Big 12. They could repeat again. Hopefully, it'll be a better game though. Let me see. Man, let me see. Okay, Iowa State. Okay, so what are we at? 8 now? Who's your 8?
Man, this was a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It could be several teams. But for me,
SMU, K-State, Alabama.
SMU I think is gonna be up there.
Yeah.
But I'm really debating. I'm up there between. This might sound wild, but I'm up there. With Michigan.
Oh,
I really think, dude, Sharon Moore, I think is a very competent coach. I think he knows how to win games. He knows how to flip around a program. But I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen enough from him.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna go with your suggestion. Give me SMU.
Okay, well, yeah, I was gonna say I think they need another year. They need another year. Okay, so why SMU? What's your feeling there? What's giving you there?
Jennings is coming back. That's another quarterback I can trust.
Wait, Sammy, that's the end of it right there.
Oh yeah, immediately. Hey, if you're a quarterback I can trust at the highest level, that's a quarterback I can pick to be in my top 10. Exactly. I'll definitely put you in there.
I'll say, like you say, Jennings, and again, he was another young one. I think he may be a sophomore redshirt. So and he did this year. What he can do, with his arm and his legs. People think he's just a legs guy, but he and maybe the Penn State game, but I mean he can He can throw it, bro. He can throw it, and like it's almost like a Lagway. He's a younger guy, but his team believes in him. And even like you say, because I'm gonna put SMU at 8 too. The fight that he showed and they showed after getting blown out by Clemson, and then almost if it wasn't for a 56-yard kick, they would have probably won that game in the ACC championship. I mean, now you got to be a pretty special leader to have the team still believe in you, and then to go out there and he could have gave up. He didn't. He kept fighting. And just when you watch him play, you can see his attitude. He wants to win. Like he's gonna keep improving. Real good one. SMU, could they be back to their 90s era? Could they be gonna come up? Imagine what SMU would be looked at if they never had those recruiting violations. They might be on the same level as Texas.
Yeah,
You know, so it's just like, could they be making a run now? Let's see. Like I said, I think I'm gonna agree. SMU at 8. Big fans of them and their staff. And notice how we haven't said Georgia still yet. Okay, so who's at 9? Who's at 9? You got 2 more spots, so it's not who's at 9.
This one's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
For me, you can go and put. Yeah, this one's tough, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? Just off of talent, give me Kirby. Just off of talent.
Wow. Okay.
This is where they finally come. They'll be in the bottom half, and like what they used to be. But yeah, just off of talent, I think that's what he's gonna hold on to. He's gonna hold on to his talent, and his defense is gonna overcome like some game. It's gonna be like a miniature version of Oregon, basically.
I do. And honestly, they remind me of Clemson. I think.
Yes.
I think they may be going through that little time period where it's going to be not down like they suck, but like compared to what they were.
They'll be on the down.
Exactly. So I think I like that pick 8. That Georgia at 8. And then they have their defense. We'll see. They lost a lot. Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, Malachi started losing a lot, man. And the defense honestly wasn't that impressive this year, even with all the guys I just named. So you're losing all those guys. Man, he's gonna have a coaching job next year. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, we're gonna find out how he can really coach next year. Oh my bad. Okay, that was 8. My bad. That wasn't 9. That was 8. So you still got 2 more spots. Okay, so for me at 8, it's hard to put anybody over Georgia because if Georgia played them, could they actually block Georgia? Is the one question that you have to ask. Man, for me personally. Sammy knows I've been high on these dudes since last year. And it's going to be a shocker, but, man, I'm betting on Avery Johnson, K-State. like I said, I'm just a really big fan of Avery Johnson. And Sammy's been knowing this. I said it was either this year. It wasn't this year. This year was a learning year for him. Go and that kind of stuff, learn and that kind of stuff. And mainly because he was – like Lenoris, but he was, I think, worse, where he really struggles to throw the ball sometimes and read coverages, that kind of stuff. And he all he really knows how to do is run. But I think, he's going to take this offseason and know how to throw the ball at a high level, that kind of stuff. And they got a run receiver that's elite, Jace Brown. I don't even know his name. Really, really good dude. And then Dylan Edwards from Colorado is a burner. One of the fastest players I've ever seen. He run right by you in the blink of an eye. So I think I have K-State. Big 12 is going to be pretty interesting. I think Big 12 SEC are going to claim the top 2 spots next year as a conference. I'm just going to say it now.
Yep.
I think Big 10's going to go fall out of that. Outside of Oregon and Illinois, I'm not sure if I see anybody else really being. Maybe Nebraska sneaks up on people, but they definitely won't be no top 10 team. I can tell you that. Let me see. Okay, you said. I said. So who's your number 9?
Give me the Fighting Illinois, like you said.
Wow. Illinois. Okay, Illinois. Okay.
They returned that quarterback, right?
Yeah, Altmaier.
Yeah. Give me Illinois. I can see something similar to that Indiana from last year.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Like you said, I think Illinois is going to fly. A lot of people's top 10s is going to fly under the radar because they're not the sexy pick. And that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, man, people I like, oh wow, they fought out to beat South Carolina. It was just, and I don't know if the coach was taunting them and that kind of stuff. Like, and the quarter, and like you're saying, it's all about having a veteran quarterback means so much in these kind of rankings because at the end of the day, that's what's going to win you games is your quarterback. And Altmaier, I'll tell you, you don't have to worry about him throwing the ball. He can throw it. And that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about him on the road. Some of the other guys like Avery Johnson, these kind of guys, how are they going to play on the road? Environments they never experienced before. Altmaier's experienced that already. He's already been through that. He's already been through the blowouts and we didn't play what I could do. That kind of experience that. And so he's more of a veteran guy. I trust, like you say. I like that. Big fan. For me, for nine. Okay, 9. Let me see. For 9. Let me see. Let me just go all the way down the list. See, okay, I got Ole Miss down here. Do I put Ole Miss in here? It's hard. But no, like I said, it's tough. I'm really looking. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. I think, man, Georgia. This is where it really gets hard, man. I gotta give me a chance to think. Let me think about this real quick. I really okay. See, Tech, Missouri, Georgia Tech, Baylor, Duke, Washington. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's gonna sound crazy. It's not gonna be sexy. Maybe I'm going for the more wilder teams. I don't know the schedule Louisville plays, but I think Louisville. I think they might be my number 9 team in America. Georgia fans be pissed.
Wow.
Another team, they went and got Miller Moss, veteran quarterback. They went. You understand? Them dudes went 9-4 last year, 5-3 ACC. And they took Miami to the wire. They honestly probably should have won that game. And then they walked into Death Valley and Clemson and beat Clemson, running the ball down their throats. So I think Miller Moss is going to be able to take that team to another level, kind of like Altmaier has, and the Will Howard, the Kyle McCord. I think he's that veteran guy. He ain't nothing elite, but he can win you ball games. So I think I'm gonna go with Louisville. Sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, I gotta say, I think next year's gonna be, and we talked about it with NIL, that kind of stuff. It's gonna be more parity, and with 12-team playoffs, it's gonna be more parity than ever. Yep. And I think this next season is gonna show it. And so like I said, okay, so now for you, hold on, let me see. Hold on. I think I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we got one more. So we're at 10 now.
One more.
You got it. Just to make sure.
Man, this is a little bit tough. You're lying. Give me. I'm really debating, man.
Doesn't mean that they're Ole Miss, Boise State.
Top 10 in the nation.
Tennessee, Indiana, K-State, SMU, Arizona State, Alabama, Iowa State, South Carolina, BYU.
A lot of these teams are like 10 is a worst spot because a lot of these teams are interchangeable. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick like who's going to be put on the top 10, I definitely have to say Ole Miss.
Wow. Okay.
I definitely have to say Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Just because of their brand, but you can really put like Ohio State in that spot as well. You could put like a bunch of Iowa State. I think I just said that.
Yeah.
Alabama. This is another one. You could end up just off of talent. You could end up, top 15 that kind of area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have to put Ole Miss, just because they're always a name that comes up when it comes to top 10, this and that. They probably won't accomplish more than that, but I can see them stopping at that spot.
He said preseason top 10 is.
I mean, they're great at doing that, and then after that, they probably float around, win a big game here, or lose a horrible game, and they're probably right around 10, 11, 12.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Like you said, with Lane Kiffin crying to get in.
He'll go tweeting about it, angrily tweet about it. Is his best resort.
Oh man, so Lane Kiffin's hilarious, man. Okay, so for me, number 10, like Shane said, it feels really interchangeable. But for me at number 10, but maybe I was wrong. And I think I'm wrong. The quarterbacks move me. And right now I'm between. Well, no, I'm not. I just said it wouldn't be top 10, but I think they can be, man. And they're on this list. The top 25 list I'm looking at right now, they're on it. Or actually, they're not. My bad. They're actually looking for votes. But for me personally, it's gonna sound crazy, but I've been told Sammy this for a while about their coach and how he wins. And for me, I that's what gets me. A winning coach with a potential number 1 overall pick at quarterback. You can sell me. So for me personally, just like Texas, they were competing with us for a long time. I think Sammy knows what I'm hinting at. Competing with us for a long time. Just like they took for a decade off, and but they're coming back now. Give me Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, and Matt Rule. I think going here and shock the nation. I think Nebraska actually makes their way into a top 10 team in the country just because, and I said it before, Matt Rule wins. When you take Baylor and turn them into a cost, what's it called? What they got 10, 11 wins? They were making conference championship runs, top 10 team in America, Baylor. I gain a lot of respect. I know you can win anywhere. And then now you're gonna give him a potential number 1 overall pick and Dylan Raiola. I'm sold. I've been waiting for Nebraska to blow up. I think this next season's their year. And I'm telling you, man, just watch out. I think they did a good job of. They said it. They were gonna go get some. They got some receivers. They went and got some offensive linemen. Trying to fix the offensive line. I think Nebraska's and they play Ohio State next year. And people forget they lost Ohio State 21-17 in the shoe.
Oh, you know what? I gotta agree with you. Give me Nebraska the 10. Get old Miss out of here.
Oh.
Get out of here.
I was gonna say that. I was like, man, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. Lane Kiffin's great, but even Nebraska's coaches, I think, he's shown he can win. At least make a conference championship game. Exactly. And that was back when OU was dominating. He was still able to compete with them. I remember that those OU Baylor games. I'm sorry.
We made a bottom list, like maybe bottom 15 teams. And Oklahoma at my one spot.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's do your bottom. How about your bottom 15? Who's your number 1?
Oklahoma, or should I say Brooklahoma? Y'all win squat with Brent Venables and get ready to lose another Red River rivalry.
Wait, so that's
a fashion.
That's a great question. So, have you heard the rumors about them and the Ohio State coordinator?
Oh yeah, that's weird, bro. I don't know why. Like, that's just not happening. I'm sorry. Like, Brent Venables is a defensive coordinator. Why in the world would he go and hire a very, very confident defense? That is I'm trying to think why Brent Venables would. I mean, why would Jim Knowles even agree to something like that? He's already older. He knows his defense. It's not like he wants to learn under Brent Venables. It's not happening. I don't know. Dude, only the Oklahoma idiots could come up with something like Jim Knowles would come to Oklahoma to be a coordinator out of coming from Ohio State, which by the way is paying him the highest amount of money he can get. So yeah, that's just not happening.
No, exactly. The only thing I will say is his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, fiance lives in Oklahoma, but still, like you're saying.
Oh, I forgot, man. He went to OSU for a while. That's probably the reason.
Yeah, he did. And that's what I'm going to pitch to you. The next question. Could Jim Knowles be OSU's head coach a year from now? As an Oklahoma State fan.
Wow.
And his wife lives in Oklahoma. Obviously, it looks like he wants to come back down. Wait, it's perfect timing. Ohio State's going to have a rough year. Oklahoma State might need a new coach next year. What's your thought? I mean, his defense, obviously, is really.
Oh man, my Wi-Fi.
No,
when you put it like that, Jim Knowles is a very intriguing prospect. He's definitely something exciting. I mean, we know his defense has worked down here at Oklahoma State, so we'll take him hands down as head coach. It really, Mike Gundy, like I said, Mike Gundy better count his days. These are his last days here, or at least I believe to be. I don't have much hope, bro. Like these two guys that we hired, they're older, coming off of. And I actually heard a guy, one of the podcasts I listened to, he talked about it. He was like, man, these dudes are older. They're coming off of regressing careers, right? They're regressing. New Orleans Saints, older fans were rejoicing that Grantham had left. So it was like, you look at that, and then you also look at, dude, the Saints were on, I think, on a record to allow the most rushing yards per game or some crap. And I mean, it directly corresponds to his assignment. He goes to the defensive line, and they're about to set a rushing record on his defense. So it's like, and you go and you make that guy your defensive coordinator. It's very hard to find hope. So like I said, I don't have much. I trust Gundy, but I think he's lost it as far as hiring people and like actually running a competent program. So Gundy, like I said, I would expect. I can see. I don't think we'll win 3 games. I think we'll probably go 5 games, something like that. Probably win a couple, but I highly doubt you're going to see us competing for like a Big 12 championship. And I could definitely see some rumors of Mike Gundy talking to maybe like a Kansas State if they do bad. I could definitely see Mike Gundy talking midseason to other teams. Which I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't mind, bro. Mike Gundy needs a refresher. I like him at Oklahoma State, but like I said, he's lost the ability. And like I said, we will gladly bring Jim Knowles back to Oklahoma.
Wow, I would say his defense, man. I mean, that's a good start, right? I always think you want to get a coach. What is he better if you're gonna hire him? Make sure he's a mastermind of some kind. Guy, so I think Iowa State shoot go. So I'll do it, man. Honestly, and like I said, it plays perfectly. Ohio State's gonna have a rough season next year and that kind of stuff. So, if I was Oklahoma State, I'd be looking towards Jim Knowles as maybe my future head coach, because he seems to be some kind of wizard. So yeah, like you're saying, but. So let's go back to the top 10 teams. So this is your top 10 right here, Sam. Let's go and confirm this.
Official.
Number 1, Texas. Number 2, Notre Dame. Number 3, Oregon. Number 4, Clemson. Number 5, LSU. Number 6, South Carolina. Number 7, ASU. Number 8, Georgia. Number 9, K-State. Number 10, Nebraska. That's your final confirmed?
Actually no. I think I might have had something different at the 9. I'm forgetting exactly what I had.
You were in K-State? Who are you? Or were you Iowa State?
No, I mean, it might have been who was it? Oh man, I'm done forgetting.
Oh, you were SMU, huh?
SMU.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, SMU. I knew I messed it up. I was K-State. Okay, let me go put SMU.
No, I forgot. I was like, man, I got something different down there at the 9.
Okay, but other than that, that's confirmed, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so notable team. I just want to I want to talk with you. I want to bring up 2 or 3 teams that are notable that you left out. And I want you to kind of explain that to people. People are going to be asking. So first, you left out Alabama. What's the reasoning on that one? What's your thoughts there?
I'm not very trusting of the head coach.
Yeah.
The quarterback, I still don't know what's going on with the whole quarterback situation out there. I don't know. Heck, I don't even know who's going to be starting next year. And if I don't know if you know what your name is, and you plan on starting at the University of Alabama, I think it's good.
You hear me?
I'm back, man, dude. I can't stand this Wi-Fi, man. I'm struggling down here.
Okay, the Ty Simpson. His name is Ty Simpson.
Okay, so this Ty Simpson kid, I think I've only ever seen him in memes. That's not a very good start. So for Alabama, and keep in mind, head coach is supposed to be an offensive mastermind. So you start off with Ty Simpson. It's not a very good start at quarterback. We'll see what he can do with Ty Simpson. But I'm not very confident in defensive wise. They were horrible last year. They were horrible last year. They're going to be coming off a really bad year, and they're looking to rebound. start if you're looking to rebound and try to be in the top 10. So for Alabama, I'll put them in the top 20. I wouldn't put them in the top 10. And then as far as the other teams,
hold on. BYU, do that one real quick too. BYU, why BYU? Bringing everybody back. Retzloff, a lot of guys getting back.
Listen, the Big 12. This is also the reason why I left out Iowa State.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is a conference where you can be good one year, and you will. I mean, it's actually probable you'll probably have a losing season the next year, or go 6 or something like that. It's just that competitive. I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas State loses to UCF, and Iowa State loses to Texas Tech out of nowhere.
Exactly.
So it's like you're gonna see a lot of like weird losses in the Big 12, and that's gonna bring down the overall rating. But it's mostly because all teams are competitive in the Big 12. We saw it last year. They proved themselves really well in the playoffs. I was pretty happy about that with Arizona State. I think Arizona State is going to be the only consistent factor in the Big 12. Just because of Sam Levitt. If you have a quarterback I can trust, I think they're going to be very consistent. So that's why I put them in my top 10. Everybody else, they could be in the top 10, but it's very hard to bet on the Big 12. It's like football. I mean, it could be in it, but you never know which team.
I got you. We just know one of the at least one or two. You're gonna have two or three teams in Big 12 that are gonna have a case.
Yes.
Just trying to figure out which 2 or 3 that's gonna be. I guess because remember it was supposed to be Colorado and then they blew it to Kansas.
Bro, this is what I'm talking. You never know who in the Big 12.
Yeah, you're right. So I'll go ahead and then because I know it's gonna be a question too. Where's Georgia on my list? And I'm sorry, but I'm just not high on Georgia this year. I think they're going to be in Clemson mode. And if you don't think Clemson was a top 10 team, I don't see why you would think Georgia's a top 10 team. I watched Stockton versus Notre Dame. I'm not saying he's bad, but the thing about the quarterbacks on the list, Raiola, first round pick. Avery Johnson has a chance to be first round pick. Kevin James has a chance to be first round pick. Urkel Beck has a chance to be first round pick. Lenore's first round mock. Dante Moore, first round mock. Luke Altmaier, going to be an NFL player. DJ Lagway, first round mock. K. Clement, first round mock. Arch Manning, first round mock. Only team that doesn't have a first round quarterback mocked in the first round that's not going to have one is Illinois. So when it comes to that, that's what really kind of moves me off of Georgia. They're not going to have an elite level line. Jared Wilson's gone. Dylan Fairchild's gone. Tate Rutledge is gone. Their Xavier Truss is gone. And then I don't know if you saw this, but their left tackles, Ernest Green and Monroe Fielding, both stink. They were like they were so bad they were like benching each other. So like one time Ernest Green started the season right, but then he would play bad, so then they would bench him for Monroe Fielding. And he played good, and then one of the games he played bad, so then they bench him again for Ernest Green. And then versus Notre Dame, Monroe Fielding played bad. So they benched him again for Ernest Green. And then so just like they don't even have a left tackle. It was like two different dudes. And what they always say, if you have two, you have none. So it's just like they don't have an used to. Jalen Walker, Michael. They got a white safety. I forgot his name. He's really good, and they had a big defense. They were horrible at defense back. I'm going to be honest. And so I just don't see Georgia. I see them in their Clemson mode. They might win 9 games, 8 games, lose 3 or 4. I just don't see them being what they used to be. And I just that's how I feel. And I think honestly too, they don't have a home crowd environment. I think Kirby Smart himself said that. He said, "Man, I need our home fans to be better. It doesn't feel like a home game when we're here." And so they don't even have that to lean on. Like, oh, at least we're like, with Florida, at least we're gonna have a home crowd. Only at 7 wins, we can kind of use it to our advantage at the end of a season. It's gonna be hard to beat us here, even if we're not that good of a team or all that. Georgia didn't even have that, and Kirby Smart said that himself. So I'm just not high on Georgia at all. And then when I think who else I left out? I left out Bama. They don't have me. Do you think Keon Russell Do you think he's the answer a year from now? Do you think he's going to be the answer? If it's not,
This is
DeBoer's
a
done, flat out. But do you think he's the answer for Alabama in the future?
yeah. DeBoer's career lies on Keelan.
Yeah,
I I don't think he's generational like that. The way people describe Keelan, describe him as almost like a generational type of talent.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't see him as generational. I think he'll be very good now. I don't think he'll
Yeah.
be Lagway level. I don't think he'll be Dylan Raiola level. I think he'll be good enough to if I were to compare it to a quarterback today, um, I could almost see him playing like what's his name, Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
Back when he played at Oklahoma, I could
Yeah.
almost see him playing like that.
Okay.
Where it's like he's above average, but he's not in that tier of quarterback where it's like, hey, well, this guy's next up, something like that. And I also think we'll see what Keelan DeBoer can do. But his offense last year was
Yeah.
very like it didn't look as good. I'm not sure what happened. It might be because of quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess he had a case for Jalen Milroe, just not fitting his system. But we'll see what he can finally do when he picks up a quarterback that he believes
Yeah.
can fit the system, and we'll see if he can make it look anything like Washington. Then you start with a case of Alabama's. They might be back now, but if it
Exactly.
doesn't look anything like it is, then their defense is also sorry. So I mean, we'll
No.
have to see what they can do there.
No. Exactly. So I just want to touch on Alabama because we haven't touched. I think the big thing for DeBoer is quarterback. And I think that's a big thing.
Yep.
First of all, I think that's quarterback. I don't think so. Going into his redshirt freshman year, it's gonna have to be a big time quarterback. If not, I think look, we're giving a guy that needs quarterback person to be elite. And they don't understand that he doesn't have that. Milroe just wasn't that guy. Ty Simpson, I don't think is that guy. I saw somebody saying that you should bet on Ty Simpson win a Heisman. What's that mean? He's plus 5,000. That's that's an underrated bet. You might hit it. Let me tell you something, man.
Dude, those Alabama fans are up there with Oklahoma fans.
Let me tell you something. Worst season ever for the worst season ever. That means Nuss, all the Norris, DJ, they almost have flamed out because that would be horrible. But I don't see that happening at all. But yeah, I said I just don't. I think he may be good. Like I'm not saying they can't win 8, 9 games. But he's going to be hard for other fans to kind of digest. So like you said, and I think that's the big thing too is Alabama defense is horrible.
Yeah, sorry.
I think Kane Womack's a horrible defensive coordinator. I think he was a horrible hire. So I think I will put that on the board. He made a horrible hire. I think that's gonna end up burning him because even if Keelan ends up breaking out, they're just gonna be like the Oklahoma teams with Lincoln Riley. They're gonna have a lead offense with no defense, and they're gonna get smoked in the playoffs, or by like Georgia or like some other team that can actually, or Texas or whoever LSU that they play. So that's how I feel personally, Bama. I think the board kind of screwed it up with the D coordinator hire. I think that's not gonna do him any favors. Honestly, we'll see what he does. But Kane Womack's just not a good core. I mean, he got 40 to Vanderbilt. And by the way, and by the way, Alabama had the most talented team of all time last year, according to 247. If you look at all the recruiting rankings they've had the last couple of years, they had the most talented team of all time put together. And Womack, I mean, who they who in their defense is elite? Xavier Brown, a corner. Other than that, you can't name nobody on the Alabama defense. Who can you name? That's like, oh yeah, that's a name I know, or that somebody's gonna be a first round draft pick like they used to have. They just don't
That's the
have.
scary part.
They don't have those guys. So, and I'll say this too before we get. I didn't put LSU because I don't believe in Brian Kelly. It's gonna be flat out. Until he shows me, I think he's on. Honestly, it's not he's in almost that Ryan Day tier where he burned me last year, and I thought they were going to be something and they weren't.
Yes.
The only way LSU I think be a top 10 team if it's Nussmeier and the talent around them uplifts them, like how Jaden Daniels and Neighbors and them did. But even then they went 9-3. So it's hard for me to bet on Brian until I see him do it. I can't bet on LSU to be a top 10 team. I do think they will be in my top 15 though. Like when we do a top 25, like before the season starts, they'll be there. And just then right now, I don't think they'll be a top 10 team for me. Brian has had to prove it. Because he's just known for not winning the big games. And the thing is, it looks worse now that Notre Dame made it to the national championship because it's like, oh, all he ever complained about, oh, I don't have the talent, I don't have the resources. That's why I went to LSU. But then Marcus Freeman, with the same talent resources you had, went to the national championship game in what, year 3?
Yep.
Was he in year 3, year 2? And he made it already. Yep. You were there for what, 10 plus years? So I question Brian Kelly in a lot of ways. I can't put my faith in him until he proves it to me. So until then, I have to leave it at that. He better hope Nussmeier looks like a Heisman, like how Daniels did, and takes that big message. Because if not, he's screwed. He's absolutely screwed. He's screwed.
No,
It's like Venables. Okay, let's do it. Before we wrap this up, let's go through a quick list. This is the last thing I wanted to do. Before we get out of here, I want to know I just want to go real quick. We can go through top 10 quarterbacks. Who you're thinking of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country? I've seen some lists with Drew Aller. And so that's mainly why I want to make a list so we can go out there and kind of give our people can hear our stuff. So, real quick, I'll list them out for you. We'll just go one at a time. Who's your number one guy for next year, 2025?
Arch Manning. Well, excellent. Hurts.
Wow. Okay. And what makes you believe about Arch that he's going to be number one?
I believe he has a talent to do so, and I also believe Sark is going to set him up right. Sark has the right system. That combo leads to a very deadly system.
Okay. I said I'm going to agree with you. I think Arch is going to be the best quarterback in the nation. Let me see my screen, but I think he'll be the best in the nation. Like you said, Sark's I don't know if you know Mac Brown, the head coach of North Carolina. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He said Sark is the best play caller he's ever seen in college football. So like that's the realm. I think Sark, he's up there. He's up there, man. I don't think he's one of those rare guys when it comes to play calling. I think as a quarterback now, I think Arch may win the Heisman next year. It's a lot of talent around him, man. People don't know because they lose Bond, lose all these guys, but they said the same thing last year. Lost a lot of guys, and I mean, this team honestly was better than last year's team at Texas. So I think people have to understand is Sark's teams are just going to keep getting better. And that's also always going to be. It's never going to be a rebuild or a drop off like maybe a Georgia has or Ohio State has. Sark doesn't do that. That's why I call him the next Nick Saban. So I think Arch is definitely in there. Okay, number 2, who you got?
Give me. This is a little bit tougher. There could be someone in this category, but give me DJ Lagway.
Wow. Okay. So people are going to question you can't throw the ball. That doesn't move you away, or
listen. If you're a quarterback that can elevate your team to a point where, if you're a quarterback where you can basically elevate your team to a point you're almost carrying them. I think DJ might honestly carry Florida to a playoff berth. That takes a very special kind of quarterback. So, dude. DJ can do it running for all I care. He's going to find a way to win games for Florida, and he's going to elevate them to a place where they wouldn't be without him. So, as far as quarterback goes, especially in college football terms, I mean, you got to go DJ Lagway.
No, I think I agree. I think for me personally, like you said, Lagway is going to be my guy. Like you said, it's Cam Newton-esque. The way people get behind him, he's kind of reviving a program that's kind of been a sleeping giant. So like you said, I think he's going to be good enough with his arm. I think he's going to improve in that area throwing wise. I think they're going to make it easy on him with the play action passing, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And he's going to have, if you don't know how loaded Florida is, they're going to have talent around him, man. Guys are going to be able to make plays for him. And it's going to be really hard to stop them. Okay. Number 3, here's your guy.
Give me Sam Levitt.
Wow.
Dude, I am high on Sam Levitt.
Wow. Sam Lovett. Okay, what you feel like with him? Good runner, that kind of stuff.
Dude, he can do it all. And he
Okay.
proved to me versus that Texas game.
Yeah.
Um, most important is that he's a leader, and you
Yeah.
don't see that a lot with young quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Um, he has a trait where you could visibly, I mean, you just watch, you can see him yelling at his own dudes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen another quarterback do that, and that takes
That's
like
true.
another kind of bold. I mean, you got to be
Yeah.
bold to yell at your
Yeah.
dudes on national television. He'll
Yeah.
get you where you need to be, and he doesn't care who's looking. So,
Yeah.
um, he's gonna elevate his team most definitely. Give me Sam Levitt.
Yeah. And next thing too, man, he's hard to catch.
Yep.
Just ask Colin
Yep.
Simmons and them. That dude's impossible to catch, man. He runs around all day. I don't care how good the defensive line is. He's going to be a pain to try to corral. That dude keeps plays alive like no other. I'll be honest. So like I said, I like it, but for me personally, Sammy knows I've been high on this guy, and they're actually on the screen right now. Dylan Raiola, Nebraska. I think this kid's a real deal. I think these are my top 3 quarterbacks. I think this will be the top 3 quarterbacks. I just think he's a really elite. Right. But I think he's a really elite player. I think he's only going to get better as a passer. And I do think he really does rival a lot of Mahomes, which is, I mean, if that's the name that you're projected to be, you're in the right discussion. So I think Raio's going. I think he's going to take a step. It's going to be crazy because seeing Nebraska back as a power, them in Florida, like I think like DJ Lagway and Dylan are going to enter rare category or territory, or they're going to leave a legacy at these. I think same thing with Sam Leavitt too. He's not on my list now, but he will be in the future in the next couple spots. But I think Lagway and Raiola for sure, legendary programs that are kind of were sleeping giants, and now those dudes are going to revive them. I think people are sleeping on Nebraska, man, and Raiola especially. I know he gets a lot of jokes about Mahomes, but he actually plays like him a lot, and he makes a lot of throws Mahomes makes. And if if they give him talent, I think next year's gonna break out. Who's number 4 for you?
Dude, this one's complicated.
Yeah.
There's so many spots you can put.
Yeah.
But I gotta agree with you. I put him right behind Sam Levitt.
Okay.
He's doing Ariola.
Okay. Wow. And a little reasoning, or what's your thoughts on Raiola?
Yeah, I think he's poised for a breakout. I think I wouldn't say he had an above average freshman campaign.
Yeah.
And the important thing for me is they're gonna fill him around with talent.
Yeah.
He's gonna have talent around him, and I really believe in Matt Rule as a college head coach. I think he's gonna put Dylan Raiola in his spot to succeed. That might be most important for me. So if you can put your quarterback in a spot to succeed, and you have talent like Dylan Raiola, I definitely put him right. Yeah. It can be interchangeable between him and Sam Lumber, but yeah, I put him right there behind Sam Lumber.
And like you said, I think that's thing too is to keep in mind Nebraska fired off the coordinator at the end of the season. So it was kind of hard to be a true freshman starter, and then your offensive coordinator gets fired at the end of the season, and you bring in a whole new guy. There's other factors that he didn't have control of. I think he had Houston's old head coach. I forgot his name, but I think offense is going to look better with him calling plays. Let me figure out his name. Hold on, let me go Nebraska because dude, I mean that is almost about when coaches are getting fired, that kind of stuff. It kind of that kills you. That kills your development. Let me see the guy because Fulgerson, that's his name. You hired him. You got fired from Houston a year ago. I think he's going to take the offense to another level. So I think with him and Raiola, they're going to be a good duo. I'm telling you, watch out for Nebraska. And like Sammy's saying, for me at 4, with my list, I got to go with the top 4. I got to be passive. I can't put any runners in here. So no Little Norris, no Avery Johnson. For me personally, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, I got to put Kate Klubnik. Yep, I got to put Kate Klubnik. I think he's a winner. First of all, me and Sammy noticed me and him living in Texas, and we went against him in high school and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
The guy just wins everywhere he goes. And you don't have to question him as a leader. That's the last thing you can question about Cade Klubnik. Guys are going to rally behind him. And the thing is, he's going to improve. I mean, think about what Cade Klubnik was a year ago from here. I mean, we were thinking him like, oh yeah, he's not going to be no good. And then he comes and improves on this season and takes his game to another level. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's somebody that people can get behind, and I think he's going to revive that big step this year and work his way into the first round of the 2020 next year's draft. So I got Klubnik at 4. Who you got at 5?
Yeah, give me. I agree with you on that one. Give me Klubnik. I like him a lot. He's one of the few veterans on this list. Yeah. The veterans have scarred me over this past year, so he's one that I trust, though.
No, exactly. That's why I want to say too, real quick, is I think this year showed Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, just because you got age doesn't mean you're going to be good. Like we exactly. Just because you got age doesn't the best quarter, So I think if you take that understanding too, just because somebody's old doesn't mean they're going to be good, and just because they were good last year doesn't mean they're going to be. You know what I'm saying? So for me at 5, I've got Kevin Jennings.
Dude, I think you beat me to the chase. I was going to put him next.
I got Kevin Jennings. I think he's a real deal. I just think he's helped revive that SMU program, and that dude can throw it, man. I mean, he could throw it, dude. Like people are gonna think when people see him, they're gonna be, oh, he can throw it. And SMU, the more time they put around him, the better he's just gonna get. I think Rhett Lashley's gonna be. He's a really good offensive mind. I think he's one of the best in the college football. And I think them two. Last year was just a sneak peek of what they could be this year. Watch out for SMU, man. That offense and their offense is fun, man. Their offense is fun. It's fun to watch. And he's a fun guy to watch. I'm saying if SMU gets an offensive line, they're going to be hard to beat. That's what I'm going to say. If they can hang in the trenches, they're going to be hard to beat. You said your number 6 is Jennings.
Jennings, 100%.
Okay, wow.
100%, dude. You beat me to the chase, but I was going to put him right next. Okay. That guy's definitely something special. He's another veteran that deserves to be on that list.
Okay, for me at number 6, this might be a shocker. But I do Luke Altmaier from Illinois. I think he's a winner. I think he showed that somebody you can count on the clutch. And I think he's going to elevate Illinois. He already did 10 wins, and I think he's going to elevate him even more. So call a playoff run, and I just think he's one of those veteran guys. You can almost like a Will Howard. I think he's better. But you get what I'm saying. Kyle McCord. He's one of those guys you're gonna be able to trust. And like I said, he's been through all the big moments. And I just think he's an accurate passer, that kind of stuff. He can move. He's not no Quinn Ewers where he's just gonna get sit up, I'll get sacked. So I think Altmaier's one of the best in the country. Number 6 for me. Who you got at 7 though?
Man, real quick, if you don't mind, I could change my mind. If you could replace Cade Klubnik with Dylan Raiola and just flip them.
Okay, so you want Raiola at 5.
Raiola at the 5. Dude, Cade Klubnik, he's gonna take a crazy step up. Wow. I gotta put him at 4 above Dylan Raiola.
And then you want Klubnik at the 4.
Klubnik at the 4.
Okay. Yeah. Why? Explain that real quick. Why did he move up for you?
Dude, Klubnik, I think is bound. The step that he's taken this year, the amount of growth that he's had. He started off really slow with Georgia and that whole the whole horrible game, and that was a bad game. So a lot of adversity, and he had to fight through that all the way up until he played Texas. And he and Sam Levitt were the 2 quarterbacks that really impressed me. They probably played the best against Texas I've seen all season. With like all teams that Texas has played. So I had to move him up.
Okay. You said, I agree. And if, like you said, I even mentioned that the adversity that guy went through. I forgot about the whole Georgia game and the whole debacle that was. Yeah. Imagine at the end of that game, somebody would have told you Cade Klubnik was going to be better than Carson Beck. You wouldn't have believed them. Like you say, when you see that improvement for somebody, I just tell you the work ethic and the mental fortitude that he had. to be able to persevere over that. By the way, that's out there. I'll say that right now. Well, number 7. Who's your number 7 guy?
Give me Garrett Nussmeier. Give me my guy Nuss.
Oh wow, over Lenoris.
Lenoris.
Wow. Okay. Garrett. Okay, you really got to explain that one. People want to know what's up with why Garrett.
Oh, I gotta say, number one, Garrett is the most capable. Well, listen, he has. How do I describe it? He has potential to be the best passer in this entire list.
Wow.
As far as passer goes, I am that high on Garrett Nussmeier. He's in a very bad, situation right now with Brian Kelly. And you also have to put enough talent around him. But for example, like if you were to put Garrett Nussmeier in Quinn Ewer's spot last year, they blow people out of the waters, is what I think. I think Arch Manning will do that this year. But Garrett Nussmeier is another quarterback that I can he is. I mean, he is potentially the number one passing quarterback on this entire list. So I got to put him up there just for potential. If he can hit that, people will realize, like, man, this guy's actually really, really good.
No, you can't. I mean, he's up there for people have him for Heisman betting odds. Like, I think he's number 1. Archer's like number 2, number 3. So you're not just he's high on a lot of people's boards. Definitely going to be, especially when it comes to betting. He's definitely going to be one of those underrated guys. That has a realistic chance to win it. For me at number 7, Garrett is up there. LSU and Brian Kelly is tough. At number 7, just looking through who's available and that kind of stuff. No, I don't want to be rude, but Garrett, you gonna have to stay on the bench for me. It's gonna sound crazy and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
But I like Rocco Becht. Really high on this kid. I think it's how you feel Rocco's how I feel. How you feel about Levis? How I feel about Rocco on him. I like Rocco Becht a lot. I think he's gonna be a really, really good player. I think he really throw it. He can run it. And I think last year was more of a learning year for him. I think this year's going to be the year he kind of breaks out and kind of goes crazy with Iowa State. And I think he makes a big run this year to conference championship. I think he shows he's a really elite quarterback. Who's your number? Who's your number 8?
Oh man, this one is going to be this one's definitely tough. But for me, man, oh man, I'm really thinking. Okay, this is gonna sound wild. Wait. We really think about this. What I'm about to say. I could put Lenora Sellers in there, but it's like he'd be. I describe it. He'd be good in like the college football sense, as in, he's gonna elevate his team to win games with a true quarterback. I wouldn't put Lenora Sellers above. I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie. I even forgot his name. Texas Tech's quarterback. Give me him.
Oh, you talking about Will Hammond?
Will Hammond, bro. Whoever the guy was playing last year, IQ was actually really good.
Wow. Hold on, let me see. Wait, you talking about? You talking about Tyler Shock?
He's like a freshman or something. He's real young.
No, let me see. Texas. Let me see. Hold on. We're gonna say this name's out of the blue. I gotta go look him up. Let me see. Okay, 2025 Texas Tech football depth chart. Let me see. They got. You said quarterback. You said. Oh, you saying Baron Morton?
Is that him? I think that might be him. I think he's real young.
Yeah, number 2, junior, redshirt junior.
Give me him.
Wow. Okay. So why I was out of left field. Why Morton? What impressed you about him?
I think that offense is going to be decently explosive.
Okay.
They've shown potential to put up a lot of points on teams, especially in the Big 12. I think he takes it a step up this year. I think I think what they're gonna become. I don't think they're gonna have a defense.
Yeah,
They normally never do have a defense, and I think it
yeah,
continues. But as far as offense goes, I think that quarterback and you've seen that they're head hunting right now in the
yeah.
transfer portal. So they'll have
Oh yeah,
talent
yeah,
definitely. So I think he'll do good enough to place him in conversations. Being a top 10 quarterback.
yeah. Okay, wow. I think for me personally, I'm gonna pull out my wild card name.
Mm.
It's gonna shock you too. Austin said, yeah, we both put out wild cards. I got Austin Simmons. Um, like you say, I think he's a lefty at Ole Miss. I will give Lane credit. He's pretty astute when it comes to offense, and he knows he's pretty good when it comes to scouting quarterbacks. At least, with that first drive versus Georgia, really, really impressed. You know, he honestly made the opposite. It's not crazy. He made it better with him than it was with Jackson Dart. I'm not saying he's better than Dart. I'm just saying he'd be better with him
Mm.
than it was with Dart. Because that first drive, Dart threw a pick right to Georgia, and then his first drive, he went and led a touchdown. So I think it'd be like a Quinn thing, where it's like Jackson Dart may have been their Quinn. It's Austin Simmons got to be the guy that unleashes this offense. So I'm pretty high on him as a pure thrower. And he can run too, he can move, but he's mainly a pocket guy. A lot of these guys are, which I like. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my wild card. You pulled yours, I had to pull mine out. But who's number 9 though? 'Cause I think Lenore is looking for a spot on this list. South Carolina fans are wondering what's going on. Where's
Yeah,
Lenore?
dude. You know what? I'm really rethinking. And I think I made a critical mistake, dude. The whole Texas Tech head coach, I don't trust him. I like the quarterback, but I don't trust
Wow.
Texas Tech's head coach.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna go with Illinois quarterback Luke Altmaier, um,
Okay.
in that spot instead.
Okay. Let me get me going. Okay. And then
I have more trust in him.
okay. Is Morton going to be on the list, or is he completely out of your top 10?
If I would put him in top 15 just because of the fact
Oh,
that
okay.
I actually trust Brian Kelly more than I do Texas Tech's head coach.
Okay.
So I really
Okay.
like that kid. I think he's really special, but I think his talent remains untapped.
Okay.
With that Texas Tech head coach, and then at number 9, number 9, yeah, I gotta go Lenore Sellers.
Okay.
I gotta
Okay.
go Lenore
Wow.
Sellers.
Okay. You still think there's some stuff like just like me? You think how much that arm, like as a passer, as a pure passer, you still think there's more improvement to be had with Lenore's?
Yeah, much. I could see him ending up like you know what? He's almost like the opposite of Joe Milton. Joe Milton just had the
Oh,
arm.
yeah.
He's about to be like, he's athletic, big athletic quarterback. Yeah, I mean, he needs to improve in passing to be like a quarterback, that can get drafted at the next level. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because it may work versus most teams. That when you play a Texas or a Florida or a Clemson, they're gonna make you throw the ball.
Gotta
They're
pass,
gonna
yeah.
they're gonna make you throw it. And if South Carolina wants to win those games, he's gonna have to be able to throw the ball at a high level, like you're saying.
Yep.
And their receivers are gonna have to step it up a notch too. They got to give them some work too. Last year I just felt like they didn't have a number 1 receiver. You know what I'm saying? So I think that could be in that department too. Receivers gonna have taken a step up. And so the passing game's got to improve for South Carolina. Like you said, I'm right there with you. The North at number 9 and number 10. Who's your guy? Last on the list.
Give me. This one's gonna be a little bit tougher.
Okay.
And it's a real shame. John Mater ended up transferring to Oklahoma. It's a real shame.
If John Mateer was at North Carolina or Miami, he'd be on my list.
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, almost anywhere else.
Like honestly, he would have been on my list for sure.
I guarantee he's a stud, but he will get wasted.
Yeah, he's not.
He will get wasted. I'm sorry, I just have zero hope for them. John Mater, I want to put you on this list, but I can't. It's a real shame. Who else would I put in this spot? I gotta go with oh yeah, this is so tough.
Yeah.
You see, I want to go with Dante Moore. That opened up my wild card pick.
Okay.
I want to go with Dante Moore. I haven't seen a lot from him, but I do trust him.
Okay.
I can in the Oregon system. He'll get enough. He has enough talent around him. They'll have an offensive line for him. They'll
Okay.
block for him.
Yeah.
Call simple passes. They always have receivers down there.
Yeah.
So he'll definitely. I think that'll be my wild card. I got him top 10.
Okay. And for me personally, and kind of lines up with the teams I have in my top 10. But me, personally, I'm gonna have to go. Oh man, Miller Moss, Louisville. Really high on this kid. really high on this kid. Like him a lot. Oh no, my bad. Hold on, I'm switching it up. Lenore Sellers is not my number 9 quarterback. I'm going to. I forgot. There's a kid that transferred I like a lot. His name is Darian Mensah from Duke. Man, I'm high on this. I'm high on this kid. I know he's at Duke, but Duke won 9 games last year. And I think they're gonna have a shot to be in an ACC that's really, SMU, Clemson. They can be at third team in the ACC. That kind of across all playoffs, and I think he's really good. I think honestly, I move him up higher. I think Mensah, you need to move. So I think I'm making movement right now. Austin Simmons, Austin Simmons, you can go to the bench. I probably just move it. They say I do this. They say, all right, Altmaier can kick down. I think I'm gonna kick everybody down a row. So I put Mensah at 6. Yeah, this just shattered my whole list. I just forgot. I thought about him earlier, then we were talking. I forgot I said his name.
Well, you're not even lying. Dude, he's a very, very special quarterback.
Yeah.
The only thing that concerns me about him is I'm not sure they have enough talent around him.
Oh, you said what?
I'm just not sure if Duke is going to surround him with enough talent to make him look capable. I hope that's my only concern. I could see it ending up like an Oklahoma type situation.
No, I didn't say. You're saying like he's in that mature category for you.
Yeah, almost like that.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. That's gonna be the big question. Like you said, they lost a big running back to Tennessee, Star Thomas, whatever. So you said they're gonna be able to find enough talent. Man, I'm betting on this kid. Let me tell you something. Duke's 2 for 2 at quarterback. Oh, like I thought it would, like transfer wise, but Riley Leonard is good. So I think this guy has a chance to be that first round pick, though. I think he's the real truth. Like you said, can they sign him with talent? Those, like you said, the big number one question. Because if they don't, he's going to struggle, especially at this level. More talented teams, that kind of stuff. I forgot who I even had at 9, but man, who was I had?
I think you had Lenore Sellers at 9.
I did. Okay, so it stayed the same. Because did I? I thought I had Nussmeier though. I must not have. Okay, so I had a Norris here. And then for me at 10, this has shook up my whole list. I had Miller Moss, Louisville. Yep. And you're going to say, wow. I really am high.
So no Lenore's. I mean, no Garrett Nussmeier is what you're telling me.
And no Sam Leavitt. Let me just finish up on Miller Moss. Miller Moss to me at Louisville is, I think USC kind of got thrown to the wolves. I think he's actually going to be able to succeed at Louisville because Tyler Shuck, who transferred from Tech, who's supposed to be sucky, actually had a really good year there. I think he's going to have a Kyle McCord, Tyler Shuck, Will Howard type season where he's going to be really, really good. He's going to be able to elevate that roster. I think he's a really good pocket passer that can move still. I think, and Louisville's coach is Jeff Brom he's one of the best offensive minds in college football. I remember him at Purdue. He was upset. That was like the running joke in college football. Like, if you go play Purdue at home, you're going to lose the top 5 team. He's a really good coach. So I think this year they break out, and he's going to be the big reason. He's going to be the face of obviously every team that plays good because his quarterback's the face of it, but he's going to be the big face of that Louisville program. So I think I got Miller Moss at 10. Now to answer Sam Leavitt. Now I am a Texas fan, so you call it bias if you want, but Sam Leavitt to me, he's a great leader, that kind of stuff. But only thing that impressed me with Sam Leavitt is when we played him, he ran around a lot. That other than that, like he ran around like a child in the backfield. That's cool, but as a pass, I think what he had a 50% completion percentage in that game. Like when I watched the game, I didn't. I didn't have a good game, but I see potential. I definitely see potential, but to me, he doesn't impress. He really didn't impress me as a quarterback passing wise. And they didn't have the number one missing. He tore his ACL, or whatever, so he was out. So he didn't have weapons, and it was the best defense in the country. Cam Scatterboo, also didn't impress me in that game. So say about Leva, but I just don't. I don't. Simmons on, but you didn't put Leave it. I just want to say something just impressed me. That Georgia
Wow.
And I got a freshman, so like I said, I'm high on Leave it. He'd be my top 15 probably, but other than the fact that he just runs around like a child, I don't. As a thrower, I'm not. I'm not there. I'm not there. Maybe, and honestly, you could debate. I'm not saying like you say, oh, Lenore. You could debate Lenore and Leave it, but yeah, I see more superstar potential in Lenore than I do Leave it. I think Leave it's a good quarterback, but I think guys like Simmons, Mensa, so Norris have more superstar potential than he does. Or he could just be a really good quarterback. Nothing special though. Even where's my guy? Oh, that's how I left off. Rocco Beck. He's on my list no more, but that's what it is. But wait, no, hold on. You know what? I shatter my list again. Rocco Beck, number 9.
Wow.
Lawrence is not even on my list. So you can't debate me on that. Lamont, yep, Lawrence is not even on the list. Lawrence is not a top 10 quarterback. I'm glad I finally got the list together because I've been thinking about it. Just not. He has superstar potential, but is not a pure passer. Everybody in front of him can throw the ball better than him. It's not even close. And for the thing with Nussmeier is this: I don't believe in Brian. Same thing I think the same thing you feel about Texas Tech coach. I just don't believe in. I don't believe in Brian Kelly, and his staff to be able to get Nussmeier where he needs to be a top 10 quarterback. And the only way Nussmeier becomes a top 10 quarterback is if he just overcomes Brian Kelly's horrible. Now, if he does that, that's fine. But I don't feel comfortable betting on that because Jaden Daniels, those guys are not. They're few and far between. Not the elite guys are not able to. Else not able to get them or develop them, but to be able to be that elite with Brian Kelly holding you back as a coach is really phenomenal. So and then watching that offense that they had, I remember that 2 years ago, like I think he's going to end up holding Nussmeier back. Not saying he can't be. He's going to be in the range at the end of the season, but I think he's my big thing. Is Garrett Nussmeier, and their offensive coordinator. I don't like him. I really don't. I'm not a big fan of him. I think there's Mike Denbrock, Notre Dame's offense looked good for a reason because he's calling plays. I think if they had him, I would definitely have Nussmeier up there. But after they just haven't looked the same without him. And until they show me something, I can't believe in Nuss. It's not a Nussmeier thing. It's a Brian Kelly thing at the end of the day for me. And I think I finish it there. But Sammy, I think we need to answer some questions for you. Rocco Beck, not on the list. What's the feeling there?
I gotta be honest on Rocco.
Yeah.
Listen, I would say there's just one team where dude, I always view them as like Oklahoma State from last year.
Wow.
And I know people will say, "Oh, well, it's a different team. They don't have like Gundy, this and that." The Big 12 is just one conference where, I've stated it before. One team can be really, really, really good one year, and they'll fall off a cliff the next year. Iowa State, I picked them to fall off a cliff this year.
Wow. Okay.
It take no offense, Iowa State fans.
Yeah.
It might be because they've been ruining seasons for years now. But
yeah.
Listen, I picked them to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
I'll be honest here. I like the hat. I just don't think people expected them to be this good this upcoming year. And they have a great coach, like they said. He's really, really good. He wins a lot of games. But I could definitely see them being like a 6-6 team.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my opinion on Iowa State. They're one of those
Okay.
teams that I think fall off.
Wow. Okay. Iowa State fans going to rip you apart. Okay, so I want to end it on this because I think this has been a big discussion that people want to know and needs to be talked about. Is everybody knows Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, but me, especially me, you being from Texas, we know about DeCarrion Moore. And we've been knowing about him for a while. Everybody in Texas has been knowing about him for a while. For just like Russell, we've been knowing about him for about 2 years now. Before kind of the rest of the nation caught on. But do you think DeCarrion Moore is on the same level as Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith, or is he not? Or is like, where do you think all three of them on the same level? Do you think Jeremiah Smith's on a different level? Like, where do you put those three on tier wise?
I would put them. I think I'm gonna put them right about the same tier.
Yeah.
But to be honest, man, yeah, no, I'll put them right about the same tier.
Yeah.
I don't think one receiver is way better than the other.
Okay.
Jeremiah Smith right now is everybody saying, he's just in that. No,
Yeah.
dude, if you actually key him and you're not playing man against Jeremiah Smith, you're being smart about it.
Yeah.
You can shut him down if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
And the same goes for Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
All those teams that they're popping off on, they're playing man to man. And if you're a good receiver, you'll beat that.
Yeah.
I think they're good receivers. They're definitely good receivers. Although I definitely think Corey Moore will end up doing that as well. I could definitely see him beating a lot of those man to man coverages.
Yeah.
And yeah, I could definitely see him being like almost like how Tez Johnson was for them
wow.
this year.
Okay.
I could almost see him in that kind of category.
Yeah.
Super fast, shifty kind of guy.
Yeah.
Deep ball threat, that kind of
Yeah.
guy. But yeah, I would put them. The year he's gonna have though, this is a scary part. I'm not sure though because Dan Lanning, bro, he's weird. I just don't like the way he operates.
Yeah.
And it's like, to be honest, him as a head coach,
Yeah.
I could definitely see him shoving DeCarrion like rotating minutes. So like I wouldn't be shocked if you see like DeCarrion like rotating and everybody's like, man, if this is a guy I paid like a bunch of money for, why is he just rotating? So just be prepared for Dan Lanning to do some crap like that. So that's the only thing that can worry about me is if DeCarrion is starting in the first place. Or is he just getting rotating minutes? Could be one of those kind of situations. But yeah, that's the only thing that scares me about it.
And the thing too is Jeremiah Smith plays for an offensive-minded coach. Kalen DeBoer plays offensive-minded coach. They're more willing to start young receivers, that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's Dan Lanning, who a defensive guy who comes from the Kirby Smart tree, who barely even knows how to recruit a receiver, much less an elite one, is willing to start a true freshman receiver like this. So I didn't think about that as a good point. That may kill him. With kind of the hype and that kind of, and him having the season he wants to have or he should have, like you're saying. So that'll be a big question going into this next season, for sure. Like you're saying, I think me personally, I think all of them are on the same level. I think they're all superstar. Whatever you put Jim Smith around with, I think you put DeCarrion Moore in that same tier. I think I think he's really good. I think because he's done it at the highest level. Texas football is Duncanville the best of the best, and he dominated the best of the best. And so I just that's how I feel. I think another common trend too is Saraland, Ryan Williams High School was the best of the best. They competed for state championships. I think they won one his sophomore year, or like 2 years ago. Jeremiah Smith, Shaman Madonna, one of the best in Florida. Like all these three guys come from the best programs, and they play the best, and they dominate the best. And once you do that, you kind of announce yourself like, yeah, I'm legit. And so I think he kind of followed that trend of not only is he a really good player, but he played on an elite team, so he played against the best. It wasn't like he's playing against some sucky competition. And so I think DeCarrion was on the same level. And I think all the Ohio State fans telling these Oregon fans like, oh no, Jeremiah Smith is on a whole different level than DeCarrion Moore. He's not. No, DeCarrion Moore couldn't touch Jeremiah Smith. It's not true. DeCarrion was on the same level, man. He's on the same level. And I think those three dudes are definitely of a special world. But yeah, I think Oregon got a special. It's just about if Dan Lanning knows how to use them. Wait, Sammy, let's figure out if he knows how to use them, especially if he knows how to use them when he's getting blown out 34-0. I mean, I just that's all I'm gonna say, bro. Oregon, I'm gonna say it, man. You may have another Ryan Day on your hands, man. Maybe one of them situations.
Dude, no, you ain't even wrong, bro. I think they do. Dan Lanning, I just don't trust the guy. There's something fishy about him.
No, there is, like you're saying, because like even last year they couldn't beat Washington with Michael Penix. That was a big thing. Like they 2 years in a they had 2 tries and they lost both.
Exactly.
So it's just like when is he ever gonna win that big game? You know, and then this Ohio State. I mean, Sam, you couldn't. I mean, 34-0 at halftime. I mean, wow.
That was that was bad. I mean, dude, that was, and people don't talk about that enough.
They
That
don't.
was bad, like a whole. It was so bad that people were like, they really talk about it because it was just so kind of embarrassing. I mean, they got blown out the water. They looked like they didn't belong. In Herb Street's words to Indiana, man, they look like they didn't belong, basically. And I'll say that you could say that. I mean, dude, Oregon looked like they belong worse. I mean, it was bad. I don't know how you even do that.
No.
That's the only thing that concerns me of their team. I could definitely see them having like a similar path as last year, almost like a Ryan Day type path, where they win all the games they're supposed to win, and they come up to the big game and they lose. It might be a blowout, might be a close loss. You never know.
Yeah.
They go to the playoffs. Maybe top 5, this and that. They lose the first round, or they play some sucky old team the first round, and then they lose the big game. Yeah. Whoever the big game is going to be, that's a big concern with Dan Lanning.
Yeah,
I don't trust him.
Wait. Yeah. No, but one last thing before we go, Sam. Neither one of us had Penn State in our top 10, and from all the lists I've seen of top 10 teams in the country, we didn't answer this. Penn State's been a consensus top 10 team. I've even seen people have them as high as number 1 and number 3. So I want to give your reasoning first. Why no Penn State with Kaytron Allen, Singleton, Andrew Aller coming back? Why no Penn State for top 10 team preseason?
Yeah, I was really. I mean, you heard. I almost put them like top 5. I think I was really considering. Yeah. And then once you start factoring, they would have been top 5, and maybe they kept that defensive coordinator. Yeah. They don't lose so much receivers. Then you really got to start factoring who really are they bringing back. They bringing back, I maybe like a couple. I know a linebacker or 2 they're bringing back. Yeah. They're losing Abdul Carter. They're losing a decent amount. Yeah. Losing. I'm not sure about the offensive line. I'm not sure how that's looking. No,
the offensive line will be elite. I'll say that. That would be one of the.
So the offensive line will be back. That's one thing I can say for them. And then obviously Drew Allen and the running backs. Yeah. He's got enough to be top 10. I think Drew Allen holds them back. A decent amount. So if they become a team where it's like all they're doing is running the ball, they're going to be very elite in the run game. And then basically after that, that's where it becomes concerning. Yeah. So if you have a team where it's like you only like to run the ball, you got a very Georgia-like feeling. And it's like, I don't know, Georgia's guys are a little bit bigger than your guys. So, I think I'll go Georgia.
Wow.
That's why Georgia was in my top 10. Yeah. Penn State, it had to get left out. I'll admit it, y'all be good in run game. That's just about it. So, man.
I'm glad finally somebody said it. You lost your 2 top receivers, and you lost your defensive coordinator, and Tom Allen went to Clemson. And then you're losing Abdul Carter. They're losing a ton, man. And Drew Aller is, I don't know. We talked about it. I don't know who started putting this hype around that.
Dude, he stinks. Dude, he's like last year's version of Carson Beck.
I'm telling you, every top 10 list I see, Drew Aller top 10, Penn State. Penn State, like you say, receiver was their biggest problem, and they lost their 2 best guys. Who they even gonna have at receiver?
Why are these idiots not going out and getting receivers though? Don't they have the funds to do?
Look, exactly. Who they get in the portal at receiver? Nobody. Like they didn't get any. I don't know anybody of name that they added.
No one.
Like that's what I'm saying. And Drew Aller is just not one. And one thing is Drew Aller can't even pass it, and he moved like Ben Roethlisberger.
Dude, this guy Drew Aller stinks, and I guarantee I could definitely see him ruining my college football 25. I could see them giving him like a 92, and ruining my college football 25. Oh. I better not see that crap.
Wait, I tell you, you're gonna log online and Drew Aller's gonna look like Patrick Mahomes.
I will be pissed. I can just hype around the guy. I could definitely see that crap happening.
No, like for sure, and that's why I say, like you said, everybody's saying he's a top 10 quarterback or a top 5. He's about the top 10 team, but like they to me they're just going backwards, and they're in for a season that's going to be of regression.
Exactly.
And they may sneak into the playoffs. We'll see. I don't know their schedule. A big part of this is scheduling too. What your schedule is, who you're playing, and we'll get more into that as offseason goes on. But I just don't believe it. On top of that, they lost a lot of players, lost a coach, and their coach is known for losing the big games. Yep. So your team's getting worse, the coaching staff's getting worse, and I supposed to believe you're going to get better. I'm not buying it. So like you said, anybody that puts Drew Aller on a top 10 quarterback list doesn't even know what they're talking about.
Bro, come on, bro. That's like putting Carson Beck.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, bro, but like after what we went through with Carson Beck, we know we know the type of quarterbacks that are like of that tier, bro.
Exactly.
It just, bro. I now recognize it. I didn't recognize it last year.
Yeah.
Now that I've been through it, like, and I know, bro. I know you're tight, bro. I literally watched a guy play. Yeah. Against who they play again? Notre Dame. Yeah. Dude, that guy's a bomb, bro. Like, he had chances, dude. If a quarterback that is top 5 does not complete one pass,
come on.
Yeah. Come on. You gotta know the argument is done right.
It's over. It's over.
It's done, dude. He didn't complete a pass. You can't get no worse. That's like a running back not gaining a yard in the game. He playing the whole game.
Come on.
That's like a linebacker playing the entire game and not getting a single tackle. I mean, you can't make this crap up. I'm sorry, but it's just not happening. You won't find him. You know, really, I wouldn't put him top 15. I might not even put him top 20.
No, I would. I mean, like I said, he reminds me a lot of Quinn. Can't move and can't put a ball.
Yes.
He's like a big version. I don't know who, bro. Sam, you should have been. I remember when he was coming out of high school, and he went to the it was one of them it was an All-American game. And they were like comparing, this guy's Josh Allen. And I knew then.
You just talk about these things.
I knew then. I knew then. I was like, man, this Drew Aller guy. Yeah, I'm not sure if I see Josh Allen. I'm not sure if he's all that. And I was back when he's come out of high school a couple of years ago. And then ever since then, they just ran with it. Somebody started like in the high school recruiting rankings, like 247, like started comparing him to Josh Allen. And ever since then, I was he's Josh Allen. He got a big arm. I'm sorry, but you having a big arm doesn't mean you're an elite quarterback.
Exactly.
I mean, like, come on.
Once again, he did not complete a single pass.
He didn't
in a playoff game, dude. I thought they were joking. Like, I didn't even watch the whole game. I watched part of it, but now I really look back. Like, I never saw him complete a pass, and this went on apparently the entire game. How miserable would you have been if imagine you're a Penn State fan and you're watching this and you're like, man, you know, it's second quarter. You know, why isn't Drew Aller completed a pass yet? Or, I mean, you want to look into that? Maybe a screen, or so something to get the game going. Exactly. Who the hell is calling plays for you to not call something for your quarterback to get going? They really said, man, you know, we just gonna run the ball every single time, or a quick handoff sweep. Yeah. I've never seen it before, like I said, but horrible game plan and horrible quarterback as well.
No, exactly. And here's the next thing too. Don't forget, Tyler Warren is gone. He's one of the best tight ends we've seen in like the last decade, and he is people compare him to Hall of Famers. They say he's up next, like in that Brock Bowers tier. I think he is.
He definitely is.
So they gonna lose him too. I mean, how do you replace it? Those guys don't just grow on trees. You know what I'm saying? So even with we haven't even talked about the fact they're losing Tyler Warren too. So anybody has Drew Aller in the top 10, top 5 quarterbacks is completely wrong. You should stop listening to them. Anybody has Penn State number 1, number 2, number 3, you should start questioning them. And I asked them, what the hell did Penn State do to be that high? I don't even honestly though, because what do they do? They lost Tyler Warren, lost Abdul Carter, lost their defensive coordinator Tom Allen, lost both their top 2 receivers. Yep. What are you adding? And their coach is known for losing the big games.
Bro, they are a poor man's Georgia.
Exactly. And like I said, I think next year's gonna be a reality check for them, and I think James Franklin gets fired. I want to be honest.
I agree with you 100%.
And we'll see who they get. Could it be Rhett Lashley? Could it be Jim Knowles? We'll see who they hire. But I think next year's the end for James Franklin. And I think Drew Aller may have to portal out. I don't think he's the honestly, just knowing because of his name, Miami might throw $5 million at him. But
I can see that happening, bro.
See, I can see why. By the way, Miami and Oregon, the biggest scumbags of the NIL era. I mean, I've never seen a worse. Like, how can you be that scummish? And then, bro. I mean, we talked about it.
Dude, I would never think I'd see the day when we start calling teams scumbag in the NIL, bro. Bro, we've hit this point, bro. It's become too bad, bro. This is what we were warned about. When teams have become scumbags, bro, because they out here throwing too much money, bro. I mean, come on, dude. It was not supposed to be to this point, bro. These Miami dudes, they only care about name, bro. I mean, Carson Beck, bro. I never forgot, my bad. He actually did go to Miami.
He did.
Bro, these guys only care about name. They don't care who you are. They throw money at everyone and anyone as long as you have a good name to you.
As long as you got a good name to you?
As long as you got a good name. Dude, I guarantee Miami doesn't even evaluate. They say, hey, they probably ask Google who are the top college quarterbacks. They find Carson Beck top 3. He's coming back. Let me go out, give him a call.
I'm trying to figure out who's funding this NIL program over there. Because, bro, yes. I mean, they might, whoever's funding Miami's NIL program, I think what you need to go do is light a fire and just throw some cash in it.
I'm sorry. That's what we talked about more. You're wrong, bro. They're the biggest comebacks in NIL. Those guys don't snipe anybody. They stink, man.
Wait, what you said? They called Ollie Gordon and Nick Martin so much last year they had to block them?
We had to freaking block Miami because they were blowing the hell out of Ollie Gordon and Nick Martin.
Wow. No, I tell you what, look, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I tell you what Miami does, bro. They're lazy. They don't know how to. They can recruit, but not to a high level. And here's why I'm telling you this. And this is facts to present it. Miami waits for the player to go to the college, blow up, become a player, be developed, and then when they see, oh yeah, well he's good now, then they want to take him when he's a finished product. Miami doesn't actually want to develop the players themselves.
Exactly.
And that's why they have deficiencies on their roster. That's what they do. I'm gonna share right now. Look at this, bro. Xavier Lucas transfer, Carson Beck, Ethan O'Connor. Look how many transfer DBs they took. Hold on, my thing messing up, bro. Damn, put on my face. All right, so look, they got. Let me go. Xavier Lucas corner, Ethan O'Connor corner, Emmanuel Carter. They took 4 corners in the portal, 1 corner, 2 corner, 3 corners, 4 corners in the portal, and the safety Zachariah Poser. They don't they don't know how to develop talent, man. They just don't. They wait till these guys go to a Wisconsin lower program, a Washington State, at Arizona, Michigan State, these lower programs, and then they develop and become players, and then Miami says, "Oh, we'll take you now. Let's do it." You know what I'm saying? Because you want to know a crazy story? This Xavier Lucas kid is from Florida. He was in Florida's backyard. He was a true freshman last year. He's from American Heritage, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Was the class of 2024, our class. He was in their backyard. Miami didn't even know it. He ended up going to Wisconsin. Then he blew up at Wisconsin. Then Miami said, "Oh, come over here. We're going to throw you money. We want you now." Like they don't know how to they just struggle with acquiring. Like this dude was in their backyard last year. It's just like I said, Miami just and who's the other team? Oregon is the same crap, bro. They can develop some positions. They can find the talent, but they'd rather just wait till the talent actually becomes good at another college and then go try to poach it off another team. And that's just kind of scummy program they are, and they ruin NIL. Remember the saying when we was young? Oh yeah, all it takes is one person to ruin it, and they're like, well, there's 2 for them. Oregon and Miami are ruining NIL, man.
Oh, hey, you don't mind? I want A&M added to that list.
Wow,
they are becoming slowly like that, where they take $1 billion transfers. I don't care who you are, and they're paying them a lot of money.
Wait, repeat that. I didn't hear you.
No, I was saying A&M is becoming on that list, right? They're throwing dudes a lot of money to enter the transfer portal. Yeah. They are that desperate to become relevant again. And it's actually, I'll be honest, man, it's as a C, man. It's supposed to be Texas's rivals. They ain't really rivals anymore. It's becoming one-sided, bro. A&M is becoming desperate. That they're throwing money at people at NIL. You hear about it every other day. A&M snacks this wide receivers. They have about 5 receivers they already got from transfer portal. Yeah, which is wild. But dude, they're also another program that throws a lot of money And I will do one day somebody like highlighted like all the benefits you get. Like if you were an A&M receiver and they throw you this money, I could get like what is it, like 10 free tickets or some crap for a whole family. You get a like car ship deal or a whole lot of crap going on. So yeah, all three of those programs, they're all scumbags and they should know it. I don't know how you can be a proper fan of that program if you know your school doesn't even develop. Like you only poach other players, you're scumbags, and you basically aim for one year wonders where you know you get all these guys out of transfer portal, and next year you're doing the same. They're all it's just 1 year kind of thing.
You're going to high school, but then are you really recruiting the right guys? Are you developing those guys? Because why is it every you got to go take this guy to the portal, this guy? Like, I understand going to the portal to fill needs, but Oregon and Miami, and I'm fine with that. But everybody knows Oregon and Miami are just trying to take the best players of people's rosters. They don't really give a crap about high school recruiting. Like they treat high school recruiting like, oh, we hope that these guys work out, but if they don't, we're gonna get some security and go try to take your best player. So I just don't respect that. I don't like it, like you said. And one thing too, Boise State's offensive coordinator Derek Cutter came out and said Oregon offered one of their best players $700,000 to enter the portal. Oregon did. That's what he said from his mouth. Boise State's offensive coordinator. I'm not sure if he's still the offensive coordinator now, but this last season he was. He said a player from Boise State was offered $700,000 this offseason to go to the portal and go to Oregon.
You got to realize, that's probably the entirety or a good amount. I would say a good 3/4 of Boise State's like entire NIL fund. If you really think about it,
exactly.
Imagine that.
Come on.
Like, dude, they're ruthless.
Exactly.
They're taking full advantage of NIL.
Okay, that's why I'm glad that they got blasted 35-0.
Yep.
I'm glad because all that NIL y'all doing. And that's why I wanted to understand you cannot buy a national champ. It just unless you luck out like Ohio State did, and it's a down year for quarterbacks, and you have some kind of loaded, like really really good team. Most years you're not going to be able to buy a natty, man. It's going to be Oregon's going to have to do the Ohio State route, which almost didn't work out for Ohio State. If we're going to be, everybody knows that. They almost got fired. Where they have to hope there's like some kind of horrible year and it's a down year, and they can kind of just sneak in there and win a natty. But other than that, if it's a regular season, any regular year, they're not going to win. They're not going to be able to. You're not going to buy your way to a natty. It's not happening. Oregon, Miami. I hope we play Oregon next so we can blast them 43-0. Honestly, because bro, Dan Lanning is no defensive guru. His defense stunk the whole season. He gave up 37 points and 500 yards of offense to Penn State. They gave up what 30-something points to Boise State, and they gave up 31 to Ohio State. Their defense sucked the whole seation. Anything they played. How you supposed to be a defensive guru, but your defense stink? It made no sense. The guy's not no good coach, man. Oregon's gonna be exactly what the O represents: 0 national championships. That's what they're gonna continue to be. So like I said, it's a shame. It's a shame that DeKaren Moore went over there and he put his hands in Dan Lanning. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. If I was a recruit and I watched that shellacking and that beating that Oregon took on that TV, I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not going to speak. DeKaren Moore made it was best for he felt like his family, which really was whoever paid me the most money. And Oregon blew him away on the with NIL. Let me tell you something, man. It's a shame that DeKaren Moore was going to get wasted at Oregon, man. It's a shame, dude, because he's not going to win jack crap over there. Nothing of value. I can tell you that right now, and definitely won't be a national championship. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But Oregon's fraud, and Miami's even in a worse place. They don't even have a coach to begin with. So they trying to buy a roster. Miami doesn't even know. They don't even have a coach to begin with, much less. So you can buy whatever you want. And Carson Beck is not. I said it last year, and is not said again this year. He's not winning. You're not winning a championship with Carson Beck. Miami fans, you're not doing. If y'all couldn't win it with Cam Ward, I don't know what the heck is going to convince you that y'all going to win it with Cam Ward's bro. He's a stud. He's elite. You had Cam Ward, and you couldn't even make the playoffs, not just win it. And you think Carson Beck going to outplay him? Man, you out of your damn mind. So like I said, Miami and Oregon, I laugh every time they lose. They deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that. Phil Knight's going to pass away without an act. I'm just going to be like, he can try to sit there and buy whatever he wants. He ain't winning a national title, dude, because you don't have a coach at the end of the day. So I say we'll leave it at that. I think me and Sam had a great podcast. We talked a lot. I wanted to do get this started. I saw because I just saw too many lists that just weren't right, and especially when I saw a list that started or had Penn State in the top 3 for no apparent reason, and all the other programs. I saw too many lists, and I saw too many. Oh, Juala, top 5 quarterback. Watch out.
Right. How have they not learned? What? I mean, it's like they're not reflecting off of this past year. We just saw what happened with Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers. Why are you going for the same exact thing?
Like, exactly. And they on 3 is out here posting this crap, and it's the most ridiculous crap ever. I'm like, bro, this is not even this is not even right, man. Y'all not even trying. So don't worry. Me and Sammy, we actually use thinking when we put lists together. We don't just Penn State, they made it the Final Four. They bound to make it again next year. No, we believe in, that football's a year-to-year thing. It's not, I think, like we said, it showed this year. Quinn Ewers, you gotta reprove yourself every year. And the guys that have major deficiencies in their game usually don't end up being elite players. And Drew Aller has major deficiency. He can't throw the ball. I mean, he could have hit my trash can outside. So I don't, like I said, I'm done. But it was a great podcast. Appreciate y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.